We live? Good morning.
Yeah, what's up? Doing this a little bit earlier than normal because we've got
Some stuff.
we got some football things going on.
Chili.
Yep,
Beer.
chili contest, beer
Beer
contest,
contest.
kind of.
Yeah, I mean, looks like I've already got this in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
confident it's gonna be all right. Uh-oh. So Angel's the one that's playing, not us.
No,
Or not you.
actually, what I picked out is a gift for Haley. I didn't.
Oh, okay. It must be a sour then.
Yes, it is.
Ugh. I'm surprised we don't do a segment on this show that's
Yeah.
Jonathan try different sours every week just so you can see my face.
I need to go get them hot jelly beans I was going through last night.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Or how about that popcorn?
Yeah.
He was crying.
I know, I watched
No.
it.
No,
The chili beans were worse.
Yeah, the jelly beans, because they have it's a jelly belly bean boozled thing, and
Yep.
so you go through them and how hot can you handle? They were okay until I got up to the Carolina Reaper one,
Oh yeah.
and then I start chomping, which is what the popcorn is, and I start chomping through that, and I'm like, okay, this isn't really that bad. And like a minute and a half, I'd already swallowed the thing, whatever else, and then all of a sudden it just starts flaring up like that popcorn did instantly,
Yep.
and then it got so much hotter.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a strip down the middle of my tongue where I'm like, "Hello, it helped."
Did you get the ketchup and the mustard?
No,
Hi, buddy.
I was finishing that sour that.
Get
Get
down.
down, you idiot!
Get down. It's okay.
You're not dirty anymore.
No, I'm good.
No, he's okay.
Not
We're fine.
too dirty. Anyway, so we're starting off today again. We're gonna be a little less rigid here because we've heard from a few people that now that it's more of like a structured, produced show, it's not
Yeah.
quite as fun as it was just kind of hanging out and having a couple drinks. So we're gonna split the gap right in the middle. We're not gonna try to be so structured. No, we have to go to this segment now, even though the segment names were rather clever. That's
Yeah. I mean,
just-
we'll still do them. It's just we're gonna
Mhm.
kind of switch it up a little bit and
yeah.
try something different. Have some fun. Hope you
Yep.
guys like it. We'll kind of do a little. We'll kind of shoot the.
Oh, finally
the
made it to
breeze.
one of these live. Howdy. So, still featuring Norseman Brewing Company. However, it is the first weekend of October, so we decided to just drink Oktoberfest today. We have several different kinds. This one is from, and most of them are local. So this one that I've got is called Fall Back. It's a seasonal brown ale. What? This isn't going to be an infomercial?
I
No.
said no.
No,
I like it.
That's
not
pretty good.
quite.
No, not quite.
Unlike my other videos.
Yeah, really good
Little
stuff.
bit, yeah, a little bit of advertisement, and then well. So
It's
anyhow,
good stuff. So happy Sunday morning.
this is
Let's have some fun here.
this is Fallback from Martin City Brewing Company, which is an hour away, maybe
Yep, my stomping grounds.
hour 15. Still drinking it out of the Norseman Brewing glasses and such. So he has got the Oktoberfest from Great Lakes Brewing.
Yeah, Great Lakes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is we have some friends that have family up in that neck of the woods, and so
pretty
they
good,
bring
actually.
us back some stuff from Great Lakes, and a lot of it's really good. I'm a big fan of a lot of the Great Lakes stuff, and so
Yep.
we've got their Oktoberfest. Here a little bit later, we have some Sam Adams Oktoberfest, which we bought because it was cheap.
And if you've never had it, it's actually really, really good.
And then we've got Oktoberfest from Fields and Ivy Brewing Company in Lawrence, which is where we bowl league every week.
Yep, twice a week.
So yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's your only house now that you bowl in.
Yeah, that's the only, unless I sub somewhere, and that's proven to be a really dumb idea the couple times I've done that. So
No, I'm not going any further at the comment on that one. So I could go so much further in depth than that. So we'll just
Yeah.
let that be. Could here just
Join the Discord.
So-
Even more.
yeah. Go to Discord if you want to hear my real thoughts on the matter.
yeah, so we don't have anything for. It's in the bag this week.
Yeah.
The league bags don't change a whole lot. I've switched a few things up. So something just here in the last week has clicked for both of us, and so when I'm throwing it better, my equipment changes quite a bit more. I have retired one promotion, because it looks a whole lot, when it comes to house shots, that particular ball, I've got enough use on it. I've got it to where I want it, but that makes it a whole lot more useful
Yeah.
on tournament,
Yeah.
sport conditions, whatever. It's going to Tulsa next weekend.
Which we'll talk a little bit about here shortly. So
Yeah. So
We're,
we'll talk about that.
we did just wrap up a nice fun tournament up in Wichita last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody saw the vlog that the house did. But of course, the still banging on Thane, took it home again. But
Yeah.
the tournament's always a lot of fun. They made it stupid hard this year.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that last one a couple weeks ago. It was
Definitely
30
not the score fest that you thought it was going to be, unless you're
No.
left-handed.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is I thought people were going to figure it out a lot quicker. And even
No.
when they did figure it out on the right side, once you did figure it out, it was still tough to hit.
Yeah.
I thought that everybody was going to be using urethane and just like piping it, and the lefties did make it look really easy.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah, they did.
but that's the thing, is that they're used to playing what you needed to play, because you needed to bounce it off the two board.
Yeah.
Either with reactive, with urethane, whatever else. You just needed to hit the two board, and that's lefties normally aim
Yeah.
between 1 and 5 anyway on most stuff.
And that was the thing on the right side was some pairs it was there, some pairs it just wasn't. Like
Mm-hmm.
on the right, bouncing it off with urethane off the gutter.
Yeah.
You just depending on the pair, you either could or you couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I never took that option, so. But there was enough friction in the middles that if you threw something kind of like I threw like a tank blitz, you can just kind of slow wheel it, not really wheel it, but just kind of let it go, and it'll just sit there. So, and then some pairs that they're just flying.
Yeah.
So I mean, you pretty much you threw urethane the entire weekend. No, you threw promotion.
Well, and that's the thing, is I was not throwing the ball good,
Yeah.
and so I kept thinking, well, not throwing it good, the reactive stuff's just going to be too uncontrollable. So at least I can kind of halfway control it with urethane, but
Yep.
even then it wasn't working well. But when I did start using the promotion and then, got something to work, I had, I went plus for the last 3 games, which is a great accomplishment.
on that pattern.
On
yes.
that pattern,
Yeah.
33 mils and 38 feet. It did play quite a bit tougher than I thought, but
I mean it was not uncommon to see really good players shoot 130.
yeah, there was a bunch of low scores out of really, really good players. I mean, you just didn't get through that weekend without shooting 130, 140, or 150 at least once.
I'm victim.
All those guys, AJ Rice and Kevin Williams and Michael Holloman, Chris Prather.
Nick
Nick-
Prather
yeah,
shot
Nick-
one.
Yeah, Nick Pate shot 140 the first game or something like that.
No, he shot 130.
Oh, yeah,
He shot 130.
Yeah, Nick Pate had a couple bad games.
Somebody, I heard somebody, a really good player, and I can't remember who the name is. It's going to drive me nuts until I find out who it was. Somebody said that a really good player on a good team shot 115.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was just that pair was just nothing.
Yeah.
Now, we beat a couple good teams, like that team that we bowled on Sunday morning, the start of the day. That
Yeah,
was a really good team that
Zwaska,
we
yeah.
went 4-1 on.
Well, and that's the thing,
Yeah.
is that Zwaska.
He had nothing.
Is-
He was the one hitting the one board, wasn't
Well,
he?
yeah, he was throwing the proton physics at the 1 and 2 board.
Yeah.
Well, he went front 4, gutter,
Yeah.
because it's just righties aren't used to playing that to begin with. It's going to be a whole lot easier to keep it out of the ditch on the left side than it is on the right
Okay,
side.
okay.
But he just got a little bit wide a few times, and then
Yeah.
Colton Richetti didn't
He had
do that
nothing.
well. He had nothing the entire weekend.
Yeah, he told me, he's like, man, I've had nothing the entire weekend, so
Yeah, and then Jared Hromick, which is Justin Hromick's son, for those of you that remember the pro
Old PBA days.
Justin Hromick.
we both, yeah, his son.
Jared's
was-
really good.
Yeah, he's really good. That was a really good team. They all throw
So-
Does
good.
he
Yeah.
have a pro shop or just work in one?
Justin has one.
Has one, okay.
Yeah, he has one down in Wichita somewhere.
Yeah,
I
he-
knew he worked in a pro shop, I just don't know if it was his or if,
He owns it, and I
yeah,
think his son
well,
runs
he
it.
drilled. He used to drill Kelsey's stuff.
oh,
So-
that's right.
I think his son runs it, because he's pretty much tied up with Wichita State these days.
Yeah. Justin is. I think he's helping Rick Steelsmith. Now that Mark Lewis is still the women's coach.
Yeah, I think they're both coaching Rick Steelsmith and
Yeah,
Rick Steelsmith,
Justin's helping out a lot,
another
but-
guy that throws it really good.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just
Down in that
a
area.
flat out hard tournament. We actually, as a team point wise, we were not far off the number. I think we were only 5 points out. I mean, that's how
Yeah.
tight the field was. So
And really, if we would have bowled better, I think it would have been a whole lot. But that's one of those weird tournaments that you come out of saying, well, if we'd have just bowled better, well, if we'd have bowled better, we'd have been bowling a whole lot better teams.
Yep.
And so that's the one thing is you kind of want to be in the middle of the pack going into Sunday because you can, if you get up there and you go 0-5 and then you go 0-5 again, all of a sudden.
That's the thing, though, is that pattern was so tough that if you catch a team full of righties, anything's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. I look at Trevor's team. Trevor had Dylan himself and Boog when they went to go bowl Kevin and them a point out.
Yeah.
When they were 1 point out, Boog shot 150. I mean, it's just it was hard.
Yeah.
It was all about no matter what pair you caught.
Yeah,
So-
the pair-to-pair differences in there aren't bad, but with 48 lanes, the ends of the houses play different. I mean, it can be like bowling in two different centers.
Yeah, and that's the thing about that tournament. For those that don't know, is we do not know what pair we're going to next. So there's no scouting the pair out to look at it. It's we could be on 1 and 2 and end up on 47 and 48. I mean,
because every game's a position round.
So much fun.
So yeah, it depends 100% on how you bowl and who you beat. And
My big question to you is, would you rather them keep putting something out like that?
no, and that's actually Tommy Patton came down and said something about that because this is the second year in a row that Kevin Williams and AJ Rice and Michael Holloman have won. Last year was obviously
last
a lefty.
year it was Nick Sommer's team won last year. The year before,
okay.
Nick Sommer's team won last year.
Okay.
So it was close. They got second, but they didn't win last year.
Last year was another lefty year because it was again a short pattern. It was like 39 feet, 25 mils. But when I finally figured it out, I averaged almost 230 the back 9 games at just being fresh off starting as a lefty again.
I'd almost be half interested to see him just go ahead and throw down a house shot one year.
Well, and that's what I think. See, the problem with the pattern building, and we've talked about this before, and we can talk about it again, but the problem with the pattern building is that everybody has such high rev rates now that you want to add volume to, and this actually goes back to Enigma Zero that sent in the
Our question for here in a little bit.
yeah, that's we talked about this quite a bit on the last show, and I'm going to hit some of these other points because he sent another email back, and there's a lot of good stuff in the email to talk about. But this is one of those points. I'll just reference it now because we were talking about urethane balls. I'm sure this is a topic lots of people will suggest. It really bothers me that their use has changed from short pattern with fresh back ends, use urethane to smooth it out, to oh my gosh, the lanes are hard, use urethane. The fact that urethane specialists who use it virtually all the time even exists is just so stupid. Screw learning how to read a pattern, just use the same ball and play the same angle on everything. On the left, on the left side, you kind of have to be that way sometimes because there's just reactive stuff is too flippy. That's why you see so many lefties constantly, and I understand it better now that I'm a lefty.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, you're a lefty and you have a high rev rate, just throw urethane. Well, you kind of have to because everything turns sideways. Like, just watch now that I'm actually throwing it good, here the last couple league sets, I'm throwing my Hustle camo, and I can barely keep it on the correct side of the head.
The thing is actually pretty strong.
It keeps sneaking up, and it keeps sneaking up, and it's not so much that there's a bunch of extra friction because there's not as much friction on the left side as there is on the right side, but the friction on the right side tends to even out the ball reaction from front to back and make the reaction a little bit smoother.
Right.
And when you smooth it out, well, the lefties just have, I've got length, all of a sudden, turn sideways. And so you've got to do something to control the back ends. Well, if you use a bunch of surface, you're going to control it into oblivion.
Yeah. It looked pretty. Looks pretty good though. I mean.
Yeah. So I either have to play fourth arrow with.
So you're gonna put a little surface on it or anything? Or?
No, because as soon as you go to put surface on it, sometimes you have. It's kind of like at gauge. If you try to use early and smooth stuff, it just pukes.
That's what I was. I actually I brought a Jackal Legacy one week, and I was like, maybe this will fix it. And the ball just puked.
The best way to explain the left side of the lane is that it's like the right side at gauge. That's the best way to explain the left because you have more.
Go to Discord if you really want to know the thoughts.
Yeah. So that's the thing is that there's an abundance of shape on the left side of the lane, and so when lefties use urethane exclusively, I can't really say anything about that because I'm like, well, I mean, you're kind of forced there. It's not like they decide to use urethane and I'm going to use urethane and I'm just going to hit the easy button. it's not really quite how it works. However, I forgot what we were even talking about.
We just kind of talking about
Chased
urethane.
rabbit trails.
Urethane.
Yeah.
From the email, you kind of jumped into the email there.
Mhm.
Well, we can jump back
Well,
into that.
I wanted,
when we hit that.
I wanted to reference that to
Yeah.
make the point that I was making, but now I can't.
We'll get back into that here in just a minute. So my question for you is, say before we get into next weekend, Swiss trios. What is something you wish you would have done different that you didn't do?
Throwing the ball better. I mean, that's really the story. Because if I throw it better, I'd probably been throwing the promotion all weekend because I looked at everything to start the set off with, and I liked what I was seeing out of either one of the promotions. I actually started the first game with the promotion. I thought, okay, well, this is going to be, if I get one, I'm going to have to throw it hard, and if I throw it hard, there's the possibility I could throw it out the window, and so I would rather use urethane and just kind of keep everything simpler and keep it kind of in front of me.
I mean,
but
the lefties
that
all use
didn't-
urethane anyway.
That didn't really work because I didn't get, it was either too much or not enough, and at least with the promotion, I think I left a couple flat sevens or something, and I had
You
one
take that on that pattern.
had
though.
one that went through
Just
the
take it.
nose, but yeah, hindsight's 20/20
you
because
take it.
we ended up in that first match on Sunday. You had a few Brooklyns, and you said sorry to Colton, and Colton's like, I don't give a crap. I mean, this is so hard. You take what you can get, and
I think I shot like 215 or something like that.
yeah. That's literally everybody else in the building is playing to miss Brooklyn because if you missed out, it was a washout or something that just or a washout or a gutter or whatever.
And it was
just
carrying too.
something ridiculous. And so, you never want to throw a Brooklyn against anybody. You don't want anybody to throw a Brooklyn against you. But when somebody did it to me, it's kind of like, I mean, that's better than throwing a washout. So I appreciated the intelligence or the kind of thought process behind, okay, these are ridiculously tough. There's professionals with titles and eagles, and we saw Prather throw it in the ditch. Saw him throw Brooklyns.
I watched Prather
Saw
come
him
back and
have
say
some-
that he has absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Saw him
they were
have
hard.
really, really good ball reaction, really bad ball reaction. Now the pros eventually are going to figure it out, and then once they get comfortable, then it's off to the races.
You want to know how hard they were? I watched so many people miss the head pin and
Yeah.
5 pins because they tried to hook at them. That's how hard they were, guys. Like that's if you didn't throw hard and straight at them, you good chance you're probably going to miss them.
Yeah, so that was really the thing at that tournament is that
I mean, I went 130 out of the gate and then went to the next pair and shot 230. So it just tells you just don't know. Pair to pair was so different. That pair that we hit where I shot 230, I actually threw it pretty good that game, but it was just there. Like I felt like I had a lot more than 230 out of that game. So
but yeah, there's just it was so tough that nobody was gonna fault anybody for throwing a Brooklyn or something. Yeah, you don't want to throw them the entire game.
honestly,
but-
nobody was going to fault anybody for washing out. I mean, it's just you had to hit that. I mean, like that.
And sometimes stuff's going to go sideways. I know that Jwaska was really mad because he bowled so much better a game than I did. I just kind of, held it together to get to 170, and I missed a 7-pin, and I missed a couple, it was just kind of.
I gave 2 away. Well, I gave 1 away. I almost gave 2 away, but they were brutal.
And if he wouldn't have just gone gutter in the middle of that game.
Yeah, because you got him, didn't you?
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah,
but,
we went 4 and 1, I think.
It was 180 something to 170 something. But yeah, all he had to do was keep the ball in the lane and just even keep the ball in the lane instead of going gutter on the front four. All he had to do was keep it on the lane. And he beat. I mean, he probably shoots 200, 210, whatever else.
I'm not going to lie to you.
game's not
Watching
even
him
a
sit
game.
there and play where he was playing with that, look, it was gorgeous. I could sit there and watch it all day.
Yeah, I know. Because after
Coming in hot.
after he did have the front 3 or front 4, and Colton said something about it, it's like, God, that just makes me sick. And I said, yeah, it's just absolutely disgusting to watch somebody that just because he aced. I mean, straight up
aced all four, first 4?
First 4, just absolutely couldn't throw it better for 4 shots in a row.
Exactly, Justin. No stop points.
Yeah.
But that pattern was brutal, man. If you got a Brooklyn, you slap it out and you take it and you walk away from it. It was one of those. So we got a tournament coming next weekend.
Yeah. Side point though, before we move on.
Oh yeah, let's hear it. What do you got?
All right. So if you take Jwaska,
Uh-huh.
shave his head, tell me he's not Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I had to take like a mental picture, like a.
Yeah.
I could see that. How I would hate to be that
I haven't
guy.
sent him a friend request on Facebook, but he keeps popping up in this profile picture. He's got kind of that sideways kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amanda has to look it up now.
If he's
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
much do you think he got made fun of with that last name growing up?
Swashka? Yeah, I don't know.
Just because it's so close to.
Yeah, he could be the swashbuckler.
Gosh. Doo-doo. Yeah, no,
But yeah,
just
just a
because
little-
it's so close to swastika, like you know how close that would.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is how
Moving
how
right
much do you think
along.
he got made fun of when he was younger?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a really nice kid.
God, I'm sure that Buttriff got made fun of a lot when he was younger.
Oh, I have no doubt. You know, somebody I saw down there, and I seen him a couple weeks ago when I bowled in Wichita. That you guys didn't make it down there, but I could literally watch Alec Keplinger throw it.
Oh yeah, there's so many of them down there this weekend that you can just watch throw indefinitely.
That's actually the first time that I've actually watched Prather right next
Yeah,
to him.
right. Yeah, Ben, and that's
Right,
the
like
thing
right
is-
next to him.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that we get to see stuff like that. Watching on TV, you don't get the idea of how much better the pros are than we were because we were right next to Prather the first game,
Yeah.
and it's
The first and second game.
yeah, and he didn't have anything.
Yeah.
He kept, everything looked terrible, but he figured it out, and when he figured it out, and that was funny watching it at the sweeper, because he was doing something a little bit different. He was using like a shiny phase 2 or something, and James was saying, well, that I don't know why he's doing that. That didn't look very good. And then I'm thinking, well, let's just give it a second and see what happens. And then all of a sudden it started looking real good
Yeah.
because he got lined up. And in bowling, it's one of those things where you just have to keep making adjustments.
Yeah, trust me, if the pros are pulling it out, there's a reason why that thought went in their head. And they're doing that without tour reps.
And sometimes it takes you a couple adjustments to get to where you want to get.
Yep.
And sometimes you just run out of time.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you figure it out. It's like, okay, well, this is kind of what I'm trying to do, but I'm bowling in a phone booth.
Yep.
So this is
It's
a good
funny,
idea. It's just not.
I said that term to Trevor the other day, and he actually looked at me and goes, "What the heck are you talking about, bowling in a phone booth?"
Yeah.
I said, "If you don't know what that means,
Phone
I'm not
booth,
explaining
shoebox,
it."
Yeah, I don't know.
Like you feel like you're just trapped when you're bowling. That's like I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. That's what I told him. The best way to put it is nothing's comfortable because you're just so.
Yeah, you're
wrapped-
so
yeah.
you're so tight, and there's no room to work with, and there's.
Yep. I
So-
can't believe of all the as much as he bowls and went to college, he's never heard
Yeah,
the
yeah.
term bowling in a phone booth.
yeah.
Interesting. If you guys heard of that term, put it in the chat if you have. I'm just curious
Yeah.
because I want to know who has never heard of that term. Anyways, we've got a tournament next weekend. Are you ready
Yeah.
to go on to that?
Yeah. We got a tournament next weekend. It's the Greater Tulsa Open, and it's kind of like going to bowl something in Kansas City.
Pretty
It's
close.
normally pretty dry. They're pretty frictiony lanes. Of course, drinks don't cost $12 a piece in Kansas City like they do at Andy B's in Tulsa. But we're not going to talk about the one year that I had 8 White Russians at $8.50 a piece.
In Tulsa?
Yeah, for the
You
two,
and those
the
White
two-
Russians, man.
The 2 team sets, and I'm like, yeah, they tasted good.
You and the White
but-
Russians. Like
yeah.
I don't. Ugh. No. I'm surprised you didn't have those in Wichita.
Yeah,
I didn't think. I don't. Did you have even one?
no, because the
Did,
dairy puts me to sleep. So
you had one Friday night.
well, yeah, I had one. Yeah, I had one Friday night because I'm like, well, it doesn't matter if I fall asleep tonight or not. But
Yeah. So we pretty much what we're bowling on in Tulsa is pretty much high friction. I don't know if it's just so much the surface. Andy B's I would consider a high friction surface, but it's just
no,
It's
they
the
don't,
pattern that
yeah,
they lay
they don't
down?
put out a whole lot of oil. Now at Broken Arrow,
No,
it's
that-
a high
that
friction
is a high
surface. It's a
friction
high
surface,
friction
yeah.
surface. No matter what they put out, it's not quite like
that's
bowling at Summit,
AMF
but it's close.
Ambling, right?
It'd be
Or
HPLs.
not Ambling, HPLs. Yeah.
It'd be it's HPLs.
Yeah.
Just see how younger generation actually know what a phone booth is. That's a good point.
That is a really good point.
What's a phone booth? You got to see some of these videos where they have kids try to operate older technology is just hilarious. Like the phones with they don't know what the cord is.
Yeah.
And then the dial phones especially, it's like, well, how do you even, buddy? You're gonna cause a problem.
Uh-oh. There's a pup in between us.
Mm-hmm.
We're stuck between a pup and a hard
Storm
place.
dog, yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
There's a beverage here, man.
Go ahead and roast me for that one. It's where Clark can't change into Superman.
I'll
the
take a
fun
Caucasian.
Right?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, so Tulsa is it's actually always a fun tournament.
Deadpool too.
Yeah, I love Deadpool. It's a great city to visit. They got a lot of good food.
Yeah. Tulsa's great to go to, but
Bricktown Brewery.
yeah, it's notoriously kind of again, it's like some of the stuff I've been talking about in the classroom videos, where you kind of have to play the surface
Yeah.
more than the pattern. Like
Agreed.
the pattern is secondary to the surface, so
Yep.
you know that you're in a certain range. And again, the first time or the second time I ever bowled at Summit, we were on Carmen Salvino. It's like 44 feet, 27 mils, something like that. It's kind of longer, higher volume. So I'm taking at that time I'm taking like the physics and
Yeah.
a bunch of stronger stuff and
But you're taking it's strong but it's slow.
yeah, I ended
Yeah.
up crossing with Packy and all the big shots that day.
You're still right-handed at that time, right?
Huh?
You're still right-handed.
Yeah, I was
at that
still
time?
right-handed.
Yeah.
And
I guess, yeah,
I
physics,
went like
yeah.
180, 190 at which point Packy's already like plus 110 or something, and I'm like, okay, well, and it was one of the 6 gamers. It wasn't a, so it's like, okay, well, I'm definitely already out of this one. Well, Henniger showed up late, and I went back and he just asked how I was doing. I said, I don't know, these guys are already destroying me and I don't have any ball reaction. And he asked me what I was throwing. He's like, oh no, dude, you can't throw strong stuff here.
No.
He's like, this surface is so dirty. He's like, get out of high road. And I'm like, high road on this pattern? And so I got out the high road and went, I don't know, plus 80, plus 90 the back 4 or something.
Yeah.
So I averaged 225, 230 the last.
That surface is so old.
Yeah, I actually worked my way into a cash spot.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where it just didn't make any sense, but it's like, okay, so I started paying attention to what kind of balls worked at that particular center and
Yeah.
kind of ignoring the pattern because, again, at Olathe East, we can have the same pattern.
Just
We
take
can have the same pattern
And
play
plays
completely
totally
different
different
in the
each time.
same building.
that place is something else.
So we end up playing the lane surface
Right.
more, and
Right.
especially in Tulsa, we know it's going to be dry, and we know there's going to be high friction, and so there's enough experience there to where we know we're going to have to take weaker
Just keep in
stuff.
mind, Trevor had an inside tip that that Andy B's is playing a little tighter. So
Yeah, but I'm taking several different kind of options for that.
he
So
might
I
even
actually-
consider throwing an extra bag in case they are.
I'm
playing.
taking 9. We kind of went through this last night. The stupid plastic ball
I
is
saw it.
messing up everything.
You guys still haven't probably heard it, but I always take 20.
No, she ratted you out.
Oh yeah. Well, you didn't know this already? Actually, if we would have bowled at Park yesterday, I was only going to take 6
But Jeff, remember, I'm rolling 2.
because
so-
I was literally going to take you've only got 2 bags.
No, I'm taking 3.
Look out! Here she comes.
Yeah, so I'm taking 9.
If you see a silver Ford Escape driving to Tulsa and it's like this,
Yeah.
it's probably my car.
Are you sure you shouldn't give us a couple bags?
I might need to. Actually, now you say that, I might give you some Thursday night. I might give you like 1 or 2 bags, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna be a lot of fun. We have a really good team down there.
Yeah,
We have a really good team.
Yeah, unless we just
Crap the bed.
yeah. Unless that happens, because we've got the 2 of us and we have Trevor, which is one of the best lefties that nobody's heard about.
And if you have,
And then-
you'll know why.
Dylan was the unofficial 9-game scoring record there for a while. He would have been the official, but they didn't sanction the tournament that he was bowling at. Otherwise, he would have been the 9-game.
It's now held by Tony Resnick, right?
Yeah, now Tony, I got him by like 11, 12 pins or something like that.
So it's yourself, Trevor Baumgartner, Dylan Burns, and me.
Tan?
And Tan's
Yeah.
220 plus.
Yeah.
So Tan is a
it's-
friend of Trevor's. I think they went to college together.
Yeah, Tan went to Newman, I'm pretty
So
sure.
another college player. So we have a really good team.
So yeah, we've got a really good team. We just have to actually put it together, which is harder said than done in
And
Tulsa.
Trevor demolishes Tulsa.
But yeah,
Demolishes that place. So-
the lefty Shea Bittenbender.
Yeah. JS can confirm, bringing at least 12 from I remember Springfield. Yeah, I had more than 12 in there. Sorry, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor had 14 in the car too, so don't hate on me.
Yeah.
I had 14 bowling balls in the car, and Trevor had 14
Oh,
for Springfield.
man.
Yeah.
Well,
and my little escape.
yeah, we were bowling a couple different things in Springfield, but for
Yeah, that was 2 days, 2 different patterns too.
yeah,
so.
for Tulsa, I drilled my high road T back up
Did you
because
drill it?
that's looked good there on the right side because that's all I threw at Broken Arrow one year because it was just so dry.
Yeah.
It's just nothing gets down the lane, and so that one, especially with that wonky layout. And then I'm taking my Halo Burn because the NRG Pearl stuff sometimes works really good on friction because it doesn't burn up.
Right.
So it's going to be clean up front. It's going to be rolly. It's going to kind of control the lane. So if the high road T is just too weak, then that's going to be something I can
And you and I are blowing doubles
I can
together.
use. Yeah. And then
So-
of course I'm taking both promotions. The new one I'm probably not going to use because it's just going to be too much ball. But the old one is really kind of weakish and blendy. So it's like using urethane without using urethane.
So are we gonna wear the cat shirts?
Yeah, we got to wear the cat shirts. We got to wear some other stuff. Yeah, so we'll wear the cat shirts for doubles. We might have to be a little bit cooler for team.
What are you
but,
thinking for team?
I
Should we be
don't-
like
I
Dylan
might-
and Trevor just to be laid back? Like I might even just throw on a cool
I'm not gonna
t-shirt.
I'm not gonna have my new stuff yet. For
I've got some stuff coming too. I showed you that one with the different motive logo.
yeah.
That's gonna be sick.
Mhm.
She apparently ordered me something and
Ordered two new ones.
2 for me. Oh goodness, she won't let me see it, so hard telling what's coming.
I actually have a surprise for you too. And now that
I don't like
now that
doing
I've
that.
waited or
Last time I heard that,
now that
my mouth
waited
was
or
on fire.
procrastinated long enough. I was talking to Amanda about this like a year ago.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I
So yeah, so now that I've waited and procrastinated long enough, and now that I know the logos, now that it's something that you're going to be able to wear indefinitely, it's going to make it so much better.
What is this? What?
You'll find out.
When am I gonna find out? Is the question.
This will actually give me a little bit of incentive to actually get it done now. So now that I
I'm
just
scared.
put it out there, yeah.
I'm really scared.
I ordered, I know where.
Bowling
I'm not
lanes.
gonna Spend money on things I wouldn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even care. This is going to be worth the
Oh,
money,
no,
even if he.
will- he'll wear it. He'll
Yeah,
wear it.
yeah.
He'll rock
Uh-huh.
it.
Dude, I would rock like anything. I was one running around wearing. Did you ever see my old Bullify jersey, the pink one? I used to love that jersey.
Yeah.
Like just pink as can be. And Raylan,
Mhm.
she loved that thing. Daddy, wear the pink one. Daddy, wear the pink one.
That's good to hear.
You ready for yeah?
Yeah.
You ready for another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're just kind of, as you guys can tell, we're just kind of doing something a little different today, just to see how you guys like it. We're just kind of chit chatting, and we'll still get in some segments. I think we're still going to do a coaching segment here. And,
Yeah, we're still gonna do the coaching segment, and then I'm gonna
and
get
we're also
back
going to
into
get into that topic.
The
Actually,
email
the
from-
popper is on. I put it on the.
Oh, there it is.
So now we're going to try an Oktoberfest from Fields and Ivy. I love the bottles. It kind of looks like
Yeah.
what's the Jamaican beer that the
Red Stripe.
It kind of there you go.
This is really good too.
I've not had it yet, so look at the
That
bottle.
was one I was gonna have you grab yesterday.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't because Trevor and them already had it. Trevor brought this when we were here Wednesday night last week
Mhm.
or 2 weeks ago.
Somehow you have it from home, so I haven't seen it.
Let's put this right in the middle of us. But yeah, so hopefully you guys are liking the little change that we're doing just for today. We're gonna get back into segments and stuff like that. We just wanted to try something different today, kind of wing it, have some fun. Because we do enjoy doing the segments. It's pretty cool because we got some cool names for it too. So, right?
Yeah.
So, babe. Oh, never mind. Let's put it over here. Actually,
let's
can you
put
put
it-
it on top of the fridge
yeah.
over there? All right, sorry. It's refill time.
So, yeah, so we talked about that. Let's get back into this email here. Because we talked about this.
All right, here it goes.
This guy sent in a lot of strong opinions about, it's my opinion that every single person who bowls for a living should post every shot. I can't stand watching professionals like Jacob Buttriff, DJ Archer, Lavery Spar. Many hit the line like garbage every shot. Next one, I think it's a terrible thing for our sport when matches and titles are determined based on who had the best ball reaction,
Let's
not
hit
who
that
actually
post in the shot one.
executed better.
I definitely think we should touch on that.
Yeah, well, and he sent something back. We didn't really have strong opinions one way or the other, but for me, there were too many kind of ways to look at it. So the whole posting the shot thing, yeah, I love watching, again, Swashka.
Yeah.
It just posts it every
I
single
mean,
time.
Prather,
There's no-
it looks good. It looks
yeah. It looks clean. It looks professional.
Yeah.
It looks like what somebody's doing is refined. And you'll see a lot of the women that do this too. Like Shannon O'Keefe posts every shot. Just watching their Instagrams. And
Something
Verity
about
Crawley
Shannon O'Keefe it drives me insane. Throws it great, amazing. If you
Yeah.
notice, every time she throws a ball, she always looks down at the arrows after she throws it. Before
Oh.
she walks back, watch. It's going to
Yeah.
drive you insane. She'll throw it, and she'll look down at her feet and then walk away. Watch any video she's ever posted.
Yeah.
It drives me insane. It's like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, she's just making sure that she's ending up where she wants to end up.
And I
guess.
fouled in Wichita, by the way. That's the first time I fouled in I don't know how many years. I still don't know how I fouled.
Bruce
but-
fouled twice, I think. Didn't he?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he did foul.
His feet
my
quick on those.
my other thing is that there's so many pros before Buttriff and DJ Archer and
Yeah.
Sean Maldonado with the hop thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of
But
like Ashton does the same thing, doesn't
Mark-
he?
yeah.
Doesn't he kind of do that little hop thing that
Yeah.
he does? Yeah.
Mark Roth fell off stuff all the time. Marshall Holman, he always he just kind of ran up there and
Yeah.
he was right there, but
Well, the two-handed thing, I can see the hop because it's just one of those where they get down, they're just wrenching on
there's
it.
so much
and
momentum
it just-
going one
yeah,
direction.
and I can see
you
that.
kinda
It's not
have
a
to
bad
do
thing
that
if you
to
hop.
take-
It just
to
looks
take
different.
Pressure off your knee, but
Yeah.
and just the amount of momentum going that direction.
Like
Now-
Maldonado's thing, it doesn't bother me. It's different, but
All the ones that hop, their timing looks different than
It does.
like Belmo and Simo though.
well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at let's take Sean Lavery Spar for example.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how many steps he takes.
Yeah.
He's like Norm Duke. Norm Duke takes like 8 steps because he's like 5'2" and he stands at the back of the approach.
Yeah.
So watch Sean Lavery Spar for example. I think Anthony does the same thing, but he takes so many steps and then the way they kind of.
Yeah, they kind of get into it. It's kind of almost a two-handed momentum type of thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
the way that they kind of get
And I don't
into
think
it.
they slide. I think they plant just like you.
Mhm.
So they just kind of wrench on it, and I think that's why they fall out of it. I don't know. That's just me.
But yeah, throughout you've had the guys that Doug Kent is another example of a guy that just kind of got up there and
Oh, Doug
you know,
Kent, I used to love watching that guy throw the ball.
just
Head just straight,
yeah,
still.
everything and
Oh.
it was just the right back and popped it at the bottom and
Yeah. Hey, look.
so much fun to watch. But there's
Dougie
again,
Fresh. That's
Yeah.
what his name was from Randy
Dougie
Peterson.
Fresh. But then there's always been a lot of them that would fall off the shot or kind of run up there or would just kind of, and so I'm a big fan of the people who just know how to do what they're doing
Yeah.
and it's not all like technical and precise and whatever else. If you can have somebody like a Jacob Buttriff that just looks like a catastrophe throwing the ball.
He looks
I mean,
terrible.
I saw he posted a video on Instagram the other day of just him bowling at league, and he had his Cowboys hat on backwards and whatever else, and he's just the guy that kind of runs up there and shoves it, and it's like, well, if he
like
wasn't
900 miles an hour.
if he
Yeah,
wasn't a
it looks
professional,
ridiculous.
if somebody didn't know about him and they, and it's one of those things like, oh, congratulations on so and so shooting 300 with this ball, and you watch him, it's like, oh my god,
Well,
how
that guy shot
how?
300.
It's one of those things you'd be watching him, and it's like, God, but because he's so good,
She can't stand watching him. Like, she will literally walk away from the TV.
yeah, but
Yeah.
because he's so good, all of a sudden it's like, okay, I mean, it looks bad, but he wins titles and
Yeah.
he wins big stuff.
Well, he was also winning titles, too, before. He was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Did he start winning before the Purple Hammers came out?
Yeah,
Did
well,
he?
because he's got like 40 regional titles or 35, 36.
Yeah, but everybody said his success came as soon as the Purple Hammer came around.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So
the
I
Purple
don't-
Hammer again. It's just that's just one of those lightning in a bottle type balls.
He actually shot 300 on TV with reactive ball.
Yeah,
The one during, I think it was during COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When they tried to do a throw together show like they do.
Mhm.
Sorry, they're a joke, but
Yeah.
that's, those throw together TV shows that they do is terrible.
So again, I can't get too far into that because I like watching people post shots, but I also like watching the artistry of
Yeah.
the Mark Roth and the Marshall Holman and those guys that don't really do a whole lot right.
Yeah.
But Walter Ray,
Oh.
I mean, he wrenches his head and he goes back.
Well, his
and he does
arm
the
flies out,
figure eight
too.
thing. Yeah.
Walter
yeah,
Ray's arm kinda looked like me for a
now
little
he
bit.
like chicken wings it and kind of wrenches up through it, and he does a lot of things wrong, but he's the goat. So,
No, don't go there.
and then you have Pete Weber.
I
But
still-
Pete Weber
I-
falls off a lot of shots.
I still
a lot
think-
of shots too.
I would like to see if Chris Barnes would ever got out of his head on TV. How many titles he would
Yeah.
actually have?
He's out of his head now, but yeah, he had a good solid
In the
10
was it
years.
2000 to 2010? That guy
Yeah.
was just
He was on TV all the time, but then he'd lock up.
Amanda would tell you how like in love with that guy I was. Like
Yeah.
I could watch that guy throw a ball all day long.
Yeah, but he just locked up.
Yeah.
Now he knows how to not lock up, but
Look,
he lost.
Take the one that he lost
decade.
to, where he missed the 10-pin. Oh.
Oh, I don't know. He missed a 10-pin. There's been several
I
times
can-
where like big forward or when he needed the shot.
Oh, what is his name? He throws it straight, like really straight, and he always wore the glove. Oh, I can picture his face. Anyway, it's not a big-
McCune.
No, McCune. Yeah, that guy throws it hard. Actually, he's learned to twirl it, by the way.
Okay, if you want, he's had his most success throwing it hard, but he can do anything. He can loop the whole lane. He can throw it hard. He's one of those guys.
That guy's a hot dog vendor at Chicago Cubs, by the way.
Yeah.
He's the get your hot dogs.
Yeah,
hot
he
dogs."
just
Yeah.
knows what to make a lot of good money that way. But
Yeah, 100%. Yes. Michael Haugen Jr. Thank you. Yeah, that show that he lost to Haugen.
oh well, yeah,
Yeah.
where he was up. It was a TOC.
Yeah.
And he was up on him, but like 50 pins in the 6th frame.
All he had
and
to do is
lost.
finish. Spare.
Yeah.
That guy in the 2000, like I just couldn't only imagine how many titles that dude would have won.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd be-
Well, he's at 19 right now, so just
Yeah,
imagine what he would have done if he would have put shows
30
away.
anyway.
Oh, for
30,
sure.
Yeah, 30
sure.
anyway.
For sure, no doubt. He's, to me, in my opinion, Pete Weber will always be the GOAT. I mean, I know Walter Ray's got the titles, but yes, thank you, BKFS. That was who I was thinking of. Watching that guy throw a bowling ball, especially like in the 2000s or in the Chris
Yeah.
Barnes era back then, so amazing, so amazing. And who doesn't enjoy watching that guy just hype up TV, get
Yeah.
on there and just, what do you think of that?
Yeah.
You know, he'll tell you in your face. I loved it. It was great. It was good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Walter that just gives you the, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Walter was not really, he didn't have a whole lot of personality, so it wasn't ever a
Yeah.
whole lot of fun to watch Walter, but
Did
again, he
Did you ever watch the movie that they made about the PBA when the exempt tour came around? Just curious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where they were really wanting them to do what Pete was doing on TV,
Yeah.
and then Walter just kind of like, I'm here. I'm
yeah.
just going to do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually a really good movie. You got Pete throwing his bowling
Yeah.
balls around in the back, and
Yeah.
that movie really showed the downside of Barnes, like his mental side of things.
Yeah.
And then of course you saw Wayne Webb.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, Pete Weber's a really good guy. Sorry, go back into that. We were talking about falling off the shot. I'm just kind of
Yeah,
I pulled
yeah,
a loop
but,
there and rambled.
I mean,
Sorry.
we got to watch Buttroff at Nationals,
Yeah.
and it just the repetition.
Yep.
Like he shot 170 or 180 the first game of doubles and singles, and then shot 250. Then he shot 279, whatever else. He ended up going 720, 720 in doubles and singles, starting with 170. And it just was insane to watch him bowl because everything looks like a catastrophe, but he throws it so well that I can't really argue
Right.
with it, because at the end of the line, it's not how pretty you look, because there's a bunch of bowlers that look really pretty doing stuff, like John Zerbinski, but he never had any success because he just couldn't really put it together. He's one of the most fundamentally sound bowlers you'll ever
He elbowed
watch,
it
but-
pretty bad though. That's the only thing that drove me nuts about him is he had a lot of bent elbow in the back.
Well, I don't remember that, but
Go back and watch an old video. He's kind of like this in the back of his swing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of elbow, but he's really, really, really smooth.
But yeah, there's a lot of them, and I mean, it explains why somebody like maybe AJ Chapman hasn't had a lot of success yet. He throws it really good,
That guy throws it really good.
but he just hasn't
yeah,
put it together yet.
yeah.
And
Chapman,
that's the thing that drives me nuts about some of the collegiate players, or especially some of the women, because they're just like, okay, stay patient, stay within the process, but they never like turn up for when it matters.
Yep.
And that's the difference between somebody like a Shannon O'Keefe, that I would argue that Verity and a bunch of others are as good as she is physically, but she's got that killer instinct, that step on the throat thing, that when it's time to win, she's going to win.
yeah, she makes shots.
So, yeah, and you can't just, okay, well, stay within the process. I'm in the right place throwing the right ball, so just stay within the process. Sometimes you have to do those extra little things to get the pins down, instead of just, oh, well, I made good shots the whole match, and I just had some that didn't fall. You need to make the pins fall.
Hey, Taylor Bailey. Watch Taylor Bailey. She looks exactly like Shannon O'Keefe when she throws it.
Oh,
You
yeah?
can tell that she went to school for her,
Uh-huh.
and they're like identical. Watch a video. They both throw it identical. Only thing that
check
that she
that out.
does, that Taylor Bailey does, is she touches like the middle of her back a little more. But that's okay. That drives me insane because
Yeah.
every time I see that, it's like my shoulder hurts.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can. Every shot, they're like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I get it.
And then
if
the-
you're
the-
falling through and not wanting to go in front of your face, but it just hurts. I'm thinking about
The
it.
Stephanie Zavala thing was about lining up with her, or she had her feet like 10 boards apart. She kind of stands like Poston does, where she just has that really wide kind of.
Honestly, I guess I never paid attention to that.
I'd never paid attention to it. So
I didn't.
I'd
I
have to
didn't
go
realize
back
that
and
she
watch,
lines up
but-
like that. So I apologize if I missed that, because I just didn't realize that she.
But yeah, the next one was about the when matches and titles are determined based on who had the best ball reaction, not who executed better. Well, that's just the name of the game with bowling. It's one of those things where I used to fall into that mindset. I wish it was more predictable, or because you can throw the best game of your life and shoot 210, and throw it awful and shoot 300. That's just part of the game. That's just unfortunately, you can have somebody throw a bad shot and get a runaway Brooklyn and whatever else, and have problems. And sometimes you just can't control that stuff. There's a lot of variables that are just outside what you have any control over.
Right.
So, but having the best ball reaction is a lot of up here, and I appreciate this up here where somebody can figure it out and find the right ball and the right look to get the pins down. Because I would rather see that, because that to me is more cerebral. It's more of a mental kind of chess game type thing than just somebody that just throws it good. They have no clue what they're doing, but they throw it good. And so I don't agree that person should win over somebody else that knows what they're doing. That may not be, and that's part of it. That's how I got away with doing stuff right-handed for so long, because I didn't throw it good.
Right.
I just knew what I was doing, so I was able to kind of cheat and get away with it.
Yeah.
And the hope is that now that I can actually throw it halfway decent on the left side, hopefully I can kind of put everything all together and make that into some kind of
You're
success.
only going to get better and better over there. I mean, just think about it. Right now you're kind of going through that phase where it's like, what the heck's going on? And it's going to get better and better and better and better.
Yeah, I'm kind of I think I'm back on the upswing.
Good. I mean, just think about it.
Hopefully.
Look how long you were dedicated to the right
side.
But
The one thing that I do really agree with him on, letting the players doctor the lane pattern to be the way they want it for an hour under the guise of warming up, is a joke. And yeah, it is, because they, this is the thing that hurts for TV, is that you want to impress upon people how much better the pros are than we are, but they bowl on tougher conditions. People want to see them held to a higher standard, but as soon as you hold them to a higher standard, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I could shoot 220. This pro got on TV and shot 190. I could do better than that. Well, no, you couldn't. Number one, if they're on TV shooting 190s, then it's hard.
Yeah. Not saying you wouldn't have shot a 190 because you may have
people
been
just
found
don't
something,
understand that.
You're just not going to do it consistently. That kind of brings me to the back. I think we touched on that when we were on the last show, but back when Brad said the show that he made the finals against Belmo, Brad had to sit in between, and they let Belmo, because it was a tape show, they let Belmo practice for like 30, 45 minutes before that title match. So he came off practicing on the pair that he was on off the set, came on, practice again. They let him practice for like 30 to 45 minutes. Yeah. And he was just taking his time, and they did not let Brad throw a shot in between that. So Belmo got to go in there and just figure out exactly what he wanted and needed, and he's like Brad said, I pretty much knew he was going to win that game. Yeah. I mean, I had to sit. The first shot I threw, he's like, it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
But they let him go in there and just do what they do. There's no knock on Belmo. It should be a controlled thing.
Yeah, it should be more of a, because that's not fair.
No.
But again, they want to give the illusion that they're making it difficult on TV, but they want to also have the pros score higher. Yep. That's why they had some of those kind of score fest tournaments. But nobody likes watching those because, like, oh, I don't want to see.
No, that was the Players' Championships that they had. That was terrible. Yeah. They bowled on patterns that they didn't even bowl on during the week, where they had the really cool format with the regionals and everything. I love that format. Yeah. So.
But they had that big regional kind of whatever, and it just everybody was shooting 250, 260, 270, and everybody's like, well, I hated that show. I don't want to watch a score fest, but at the same time, as soon as you watch pros shoot 200 or 190 on TV, it's, well, I could do that. It's not that good. So
Dick Allen actually bowled really well that week.
Yeah. But yeah, that's something I definitely agree with, is that you can't let somebody practice forever. That's ridiculous. But
Yeah, that's terrible.
I like watching somebody making smart decisions over somebody that obviously doesn't have a clue what they're doing and just throws it pretty.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
there's
yeah, I
there's
get that.
so much
Mhm.
bowling is not, it's more, a whole lot more mental than
Right.
it is physical. It's, you have to figure out what you need to do first, and then the ability to then execute that is definitely something to aspire to, but you got to figure out what you're doing first. I don't know how many people I watch throw the ball amazing, and I'm sitting here thinking, God, if I threw the ball like that, I'd average 250.
Yep.
So then we covered the lane pattern thing. We covered the urethane ball thing. So we were gonna go into his next kind of stuff.
What else? Yeah.
So yeah, we talked about the other stuff.
Do we have a market zero, by the way, this week?
No, I don't think anybody sent anything in.
Say, I don't think we had one. I mean, I guess somebody could send something in the chat.
Yeah, we need to
Somebody
reiterate
send us something in the chat here too.
for anybody watching.
No.
They can't send links in the chat.
Yeah,
They can also email us real quick if they
YouTube
got
won't let
something real
them.
quick.
But
Angel can approve before we post
if you
it
have
on
any
here.
types of bowling
You can?
videos, whether they're funny or whether, and we don't want to see
No.
something you just kind of
They email
found
us.
on YouTube of
You
a
can see it
bowling
in the
fail
email.
video. We want to see something that you took personally or had a friend take or something like that.
Yeah,
That's,
Colin said he could send us something in the email. Send us something real quick
Okay.
in the email. I'll take a look at it.
and then for coaching stuff too, we do have one coaching video to look at. Maybe a couple. If
I think we might have two in there.
I tried to send some of me in the other day because I was gonna, talk about some of our stuff, so we could actually put some of our videos in there and explain what we're doing right.
You need
and
to
what
see
we're
a
doing
difference
wrong.
between mine previous
Yeah.
to what I was doing the other night.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good. And then yours, we could pop up there too. So.
Yeah, because I have a
Problem
couple.
is you're the one that fixed mine. I
Yeah.
can't go in and say I fixed yours, so you'd have to critique your own self.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of figured out what I was doing. I just need to actually pay attention now.
He won't let me help him.
But
Shame on you.
all right, so the one thing that we didn't get into him talking about. I get the sense that it's very common for people who drill a lot of balls to have one or two base layouts that they slap on almost all their stuff. I totally get why they do it, but no one ever seems to have a good answer how to figure out what someone's base layout should be, aside from, I don't know, I'll try something until it works.
Hey,
Which
take Angel,
is
for
kind-
example. She's somebody that uses base layout.
Yeah,
already.
the same layout all the time.
Yep.
I think, but you just kind of have to. Sometimes you do have to just kind of try stuff until it works out, because there's so many variables in there that you have to develop some kind of consistency or some kind of predictability or something, because eventually when you try so many things, there's really no way to know exactly what you're going to like until you try it.
Right.
Because there's people will eventually figure out, well, I like this certain cover stock, or I like this certain core, or I like this layout, but it's something that you have to do several different times until you develop a relationship there and go like, okay,
I
yeah,
noticed
I really
too
like
that
this.
the layout that Angel uses on everything, and Nick Parr uses that on the motive stuff for the tester layouts. It's literally the same layout.
Yeah.
Literally the same layout. So it's a basic layout that, and I get it. Put it on everything. If you like it and works, use it.
Yeah, I mean, you put the
Use
pin
it.
above the bridge.
Yeah, it's exactly where it is. I mean,
And that makes a ball look more dynamic. So
Yep.
that's what you're going to see on
like
all.
there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
put
you
it
put
like
the pin
there.
above the bridge,
Yep.
and for most people with most average positive axis points, it's going to make the ball look pretty dynamic. So that's one of those. The pin above the bridge is kind of a common layout. It's kind of a common go-to layout, especially when you may not be able to get somebody's positive axis point, or they only average 160 or 170, and it doesn't really matter what their positive axis point is at that.
Yeah.
At that stage.
Yep. I'm one of those guys, and you do different layouts on different stuff, don't you? Or are you basic kind of one?
A few, but I know what I need to do to kind of achieve what I want to achieve.
I like
And
putting different stuff.
it's
on,
a little bit.
so.
My favorite layouts have kind of changed a little bit. Now that I'm left-handed, and even some of the layouts I used before when I was left-handed before don't quite work out
Right,
now.
right.
So, because I got a higher rev rate now, and so I used to like a lot of 4-inch pins on stuff, but like with that hustle camo, I've got a 4-inch pin to pap on that, but it's strong. And so I used to drill like IQs with that layout and stuff like that, but now I'm having to use a little bit weaker pins. I still go pin up on a lot of the stuff. I kind of like a 5-inch pin to pat now.
Right.
But the 4-inch, everything, it's just too much. Now that I've got the rev rate, everything's just too much.
Yeah.
So how to figure out, so first of all,
Looks like
once
Lucas-
again, the
Looks like
Storm,
Lucas drinking cough syrup.
yeah,
Sorry, that was
the
funny.
Storm Pin Buffer Layout System Trilogy. If you go watch that, that'll explain
Yep.
what you need to know about ball dynamics, layouts, how they work, how they function, all kinds of stuff. And so you then need to figure out, okay, what kind of ball, you need to start with the information.
Right.
So you start with the information. Okay, what kind of bowling balls do I like? Do you like, and you need to figure out what all those things have in common.
Yeah.
Like she likes a lot of IQs, hustles,
Speaking of that,
that kind of stuff.
I brought
They,
it. So I'm going
yeah.
to show off bowling balls. Go ahead.
they all have, most of the balls that she likes have lower RGs and lower to medium differentials. So we can pretty well tell what she's going to like
Yep.
by the numbers
Woo, that
to
one hit me
begin
good.
with. Yeah.
Sorry, keep talking. It was the smell got me right away.
Yeah.
I brought it, so I'm at least. You can keep talking. I'm just going to set it over here.
So you have to figure out, number one, the things that you like to begin with. Then once you figure out what you like,
Yep.
you find the similar things so you can find out why you like those things.
Right. Yep.
I like a lot of big symmetric stuff because most of the time I gravitate to, again, most of the stuff I throw, promotion,
Yep.
phases, idles.
So you're not an asymmetric fan at all. Then is that what you're saying?
I am, but I rarely get to use them
Use
because
it,
they're
yeah.
just too much ball. Because once I start getting up into the asymmetric stuff, I don't need any help with shape on the left side, especially now.
Yeah.
So I just don't take asymmetric stuff
Right.
anywhere. Like I really like both the RSTs. The Halo Burn I would like to throw more, but
Halo Burn is over.
yeah, it's the overseas, but it's also asymmetric. I just don't get a chance to use that stuff that often, and so when the UFO alert's about the only one that I can use, but it doesn't act like an asymmetric ball. So
Right.
it acts like a rounder kind of like strong IQ Emerald or something.
I mean, I like them. I've always been an asymmetric fan, anyways.
Mm-hmm. But you have a lower rev rate, and so all that extra torque and all that extra boom.
Oh, then there's the Venom Shock that I throw. It's symmetric. Then
Yeah.
It's just, I can throw it anytime, all the time. I really don't
Yeah.
care. So that's probably the. Never saying I've ever disliked symmetric stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but that probably would be my favorite symmetric ball of all time. Except
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
but previous to Motive, I threw IQs like crazy.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? So Emerald, I loved. I know Angel, that's her beloved ball. She loves the Emerald.
Yeah.
IQ Tours were good. It was look at the Astro. Look how much I was in love with the Astro.
Yeah.
It's asymmetric, so
Yeah, I like.
I
the
could
Astro
literally
quite a bit
do
too, but
anything
just
I
don't-
wanted with that bowling ball.
Yeah.
That's the only thing when I made the switch and I signed. It was I shedded a few tears because I couldn't throw that one anymore. So now she's got it. So
Yeah.
and then people don't realize too though is a lot of people don't think about is they asymmetric balls will also go. They're not just your top end stuff like at the very top of the chart. They're making asymmetric bowling balls in the middle. I don't know if Storm does this.
Yeah.
But here, that's a good way to bring this in. This is the middle of the line. The new Pride.
Mm-hmm.
Angel told me to bring it, so I'm bringing it. And the new Pride is in the middle of our chart, but it's an
Have
asymmetric
a
bowling
ball
ball.
cup there somewhere.
It's fine. We don't have to put it up there. I can hold it and put it away.
Yeah.
Here you go. Yeah. Oh gosh. There you go. You're awful trustworthy there. Here, you can put the Storm logo out there. Here, we can at least advertise for both.
Yeah.
I
So-
know if I aimed at your head, you'd be fine.
Yep.
Do all kinds of confusion here.
Yep. So it's a new ball in the middle of our chart. It is an asymmetric ball. So kind of like the Venom Recoil, Luke, as you know about the Venom Recoil. It's at the bottom of the line. It's asymmetric. So a lot of people think asymmetric big balls they have to be at the top of the line. It's total
Yeah.
opposite. So you can put them anywhere in the chart.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
guys have
depending on
anything like that, or
the honey badger intensity is kind of a medium ASIM.
is it really?
Yeah.
I've always thought that the
It-
intensity was at the higher end of the chart.
No, the intensity's got like a 250. I think it's like 250, 4048, 008 or something, or 0011 or just 011, I guess. So it's kind of a, it's a,
Is
it's kind of it's
is Global's chart any different than Roto and Storm when it comes to just the way that the
Yeah, Global does some different stuff because it's kind of like the intensity is kind of like an asymmetric high road.
you have one to throw up here?
almost. So
We can get rid of this. This is coming out soon. So.
254, 048, 012.
yeah, so it's kind of a mild ASIM and it's kind of a medium-ish RG.
Yeah, and it's
Colin says I've always thought of the Honey Badger as an ASIM high road.
S70 solid.
Yeah, that's basically that's basically what it is.
Yeah,
The honey badgers are kind of ASIM.
yeah.
The fluxes too that we saw Sean Rash throwing a bunch.
I love the color of the fluxes, like
Yeah.
just the solid green and
250.
orange and
Yeah.
255, 049, 00, or 014.
That's right.
So yeah, the fluxes were kind of weird too.
The fluxes are pretty identical. It's just one has black
That's right,
labels
the bolts
and the
there.
other one has white labels, I think. I think that's the only difference in the two
Okay, I got you.
for the fluxes.
I see. I always thought they were both bolts. That shows how much I pay attention. But
No, the Volt Pearl is blue and
Yep.
the Volt Solid's green.
just the fact that they put. Oh, there you go. Get on that.
Mm.
He used to watch Justin Wyman's ball reviews, like back when the Sigma Tour came out.
Oh,
He switched to
yeah.
Storm years later. Is he still with Storm or no? Do you know?
Yeah, he's still. Well, I don't know if he's actually still because he got a job with them as kind of a everything person. He was kind of
Storm?
on he was kind of on the social media side, but he was also involved with a little bit of ball development. He was involved with a little bit of marketing. He was involved with a little bit. He had his hands in a bunch of different things, but he also does all the sets for the PBA. And so he traveled enough to where it didn't quite work out for him to have the job with Storm and do his, run his business basically.
Yeah.
And so he stepped down from that actual job, but I think he's still a staffer with Storm because he posted something here a week or two ago that he was drilling a bunch of new Storm stuff.
Yeah.
So I think he's
Because
still,
Nick Parr took his role
He's
over.
still associated with them, but just maybe not in the
Yeah.
same role.
Yeah.
No, I've got both the fluxes here. The flux solid is bright orange, and
Nick
the
Parr took
pearl
his
is
role
bright orange,
with
but it's
Motive.
shiny. So
So that's what Nick Parr does now. He took Justin's role over. This is by
Yeah.
far the strongest ball Motive has ever produced.
Yeah, oh boy.
Sorry, I just watched a
Yeah.
video this morning. I was on YouTube this morning, and Justin Wyman's video came up,
Mhm.
and it was the Ghost. Good for rep dominant players.
yeah.
Sorry, it's that voice. The old
That-
Motive videos, though, you have to admit, are great.
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
lights down.
Yeah,
with
he was making some of the.
They
he
were
was
pretty
making the
good.
best videos
I'll
there
give
for
him
a
props.
while.
They were good. All right, carry on. What are we on now? Sorry.
But-
did we
Yeah,
get
we were
all
talking
the
about.
topics done?
Yeah, we
Sorry.
were trying to figure out how to kind of quantify or figure out what kind of layouts you should end up with, and how to avoid it being a trial and error thing. But it kind of has to be a trial and error thing. I've figured it just all the stuff that I end up liking has a lower RG.
Right.
They have differentials all over the place, but every single time that I drill something and don't really get along with it, the majority of the time it's because it has a higher RG.
Yeah.
And so I have to use those for like my trick balls or the high road tee that I drilled pinned down that's going to Tulsa. Well, that's just going to be a straight up.
Do you have anything pinned down other than that right now?
I've got the phase 0, which is pinned down. It's actually a little quick. Most of the stuff is pinned in my ring finger right now because that gives me the best. If I go pin up
In your
on a
ring,
lot of,
you said?
yeah, on my ring finger.
Okay.
So that's kind of splits the difference between pin up and pin down. If I go pin up on stuff, it's a little too early on the left side. I don't need any help with that. But if I go pin down, it can be a little long and slow. And so I split the difference and kind of go right in the middle.
Yeah.
And so that's
Exactly how my shock's drilled.
So
Yeah.
that's how
Get in
you
the ring.
figure out. You take certain balls
Mm-hmm.
that you know that you like. That's the easiest way to figure layouts out. Is take a ball that you know that you like, try a couple different layouts on it,
Yep.
and see what you like the best. and then look at the other balls that you have drilled and say, okay, well, maybe this one doesn't quite fit inside of what I normally like, but it has a layout on it that, that it's like, okay, well, why does I like this ball, but it's kind of dissimilar from the other balls that I like?
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be a layout thing
Right.
that helps increase, your success with a ball that you wouldn't normally otherwise get along with.
Right.
So you have to stop and pay attention to some stuff.
Yeah, makes sense.
And kind
Makes
of get
sense.
into some stuff and then figure out,
Makes sense. It makes sense. It does because that I think I have that the pin in the ring. I have it on the shock and the Forge Fire. I think is what I have it on.
Yeah.
Two totally different bowling balls. The Fire looks like poo poo, and then the shock looks good. So
Yeah, so then that's when, okay, so they got the same layout on them, so
Yep.
it's got to be ball choice.
Yep. Eventually,
But-
I'm gonna find something. I'm determined to find something where that fire actually strikes and looks good.
Yeah.
I'm determined before I just say, "Here, you can have
Yeah.
it."
In the dumpster. It will strike the bottom of the dumpster. when
It,
you land
it might strike there, and I think that's where it's heading. Problem is that ball's can be discontinued now. So it's, and James, sorry, carry
Yeah.
on.
Now here's I've always wondered how staff players.
And James, sorry, carry
Yeah.
on.
Now here's I've always wondered how staff players who have at least 2 of every ball from 3 or 7 companies, depending on which staff, build a bag for a house shot session where a lot of their stuff is going to look pretty much the same. Like if you know it's 279 or you're out of every bracket, how do you decide what balls to bring? That you just get used to.
I'm out. He said 3 or 7 companies, so
Yeah.
I'm out. So you have
So,
to answer
yeah.
that question only.
So you have to just narrow it down to what looks the best. I mean, you've got to go out and you've got to throw a bunch of stuff, but then you get really, really familiar with certain cores, certain covers, so you know going into it what you're going to like to begin with.
Yep.
Then you go bowl with some stuff, and you have to nitpick. You have to
That's all you can
okay,
do.
well, this ball's a little bit earlier, like with the Hustle Camo and the Hustle Ink. I've got them drilled the same way. They got the same surface on them. They're the same ball, except that the ink's cover's a little different. I like the camo better because it's a little earlier and it's a little smoother. The ink is a little
Yeah.
bit more friction.
Yep.
Because when I took them out and I did the reviews for them, the ink was too much ball from straight, but then as soon as I got in, it wanted to wiggle
Right.
a little bit.
Right.
And so it's really, if really anybody else takes them out together, it's like, well, they're virtually the same ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, virtually the same ball isn't the same ball.
Right.
And so the camo gives me a better look from straight. It gives me a better look from deep. It's just a more comfortable reaction, even though from all intents and purposes, they're similar enough to where if I had to pick one or the other, then it's like, okay, well, whatever, you just flip a coin. But when you're actually making those critical choices, the camo is better for me than the ink is.
Right.
So,
And also to clarify, not every staffer gets two to three balls or whatever it is, 2 of each ball. So there's a lot of staffers that only have 1 of each release.
yeah.
Or if not even that. So
Yeah, and they might not even, if they don't like the way that it reacts, they may not even have it for long.
we can get into a discussion of we'll do a staff
So-
discussion thing down the road again.
Yeah,
So,
we're gonna have James on actually. One of the, is that?
I think it's in a couple weeks. I think it's the
Okay.
weekend after Tulsa.
Yeah, the weekend after Tulsa. So in 2 weeks, we'll have James Sniffen on because
We've got a good you can
yeah,
it's
I've been on Storm for 6 years now.
Yep.
I'm
new.
You've kind of bounced. You were on Jet back in the day that when Jet.
I actually back in the day I was with
Or-
Storm.
Oh, okay. So
I've
yeah,
been with Storm when I was in 2007. I was with Storm.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It was 2007. I was with Storm Roto, or not Roto, but Storm, and then I was only a couple of years, and then I did the Jet thing. It was something to try, and I actually shot 300 with one of the balls
Yeah.
at Gage of all places, believe it or not. And then I quit pretty much quit bowling. I didn't quit. I never quit, but I pretty much bowled like 1 night a week and just garbage leagues, basically. And yeah, got back into it here recently. It's been a few years now, but believe it or not, people bad off the Jet stuff, but it really was not bad.
Yeah,
it
well,
really
just-
wasn't. It's just it was a. We won't. That could be another Discord discussion.
Yeah. All right. I'll try this against the.
More Oktoberfest. But yeah, I actually was with Storm in 2007 to 2010, I think. So, I mean, Angel knew that. I told you that the other day, but yeah, I was. Yep.
Yeah,
'Cause I actually-
this stuff's better than the Sam Adams, but the Sam Adams.
I actually
is pretty
chased the
solid.
tour from 2007 to 2010.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, actually, it was on the road traveling.
Sweet.
Yep. I've done a few good things out there. Not great, but believe it or not.
I've done literally nothing.
Have you caught a PBA check yet?
No, I haven't even bowled a PBA event.
Really?
I've never bowled any PBA event of any. I bowled the.
Yes, you have. No,
I
you bowled the U.S.
I
Open,
bowled
which
the
is
US
USBC.
Open.
That's a
Yeah.
PBA event. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
kind of. But I bowled the PTQ, and if I wouldn't have missed 11,
I bowled the
spares-
first two
All
wor-
the Kansas City tournaments PBA.
That's true. That's true. I bowled the first three World Series bowling too. So that was back when I started. And then when they were all three in Detroit,
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, at the U.S. Open, I missed 11 single pins in 8 games at the PTQ and missed the cut by 70. So yeah,
That was the hard part about chasing and bowling the national stuff back then. Was I was doing it when Rhino was in his heyday, and Rhino just rolled over everyone.
yeah, back when he was murdering the PTQ.
Oh, I watched it in person.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Watched it in person. He just walks in and just destroys you. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't matter what you were bowling on, where at, when, how, what. You could have been bowling on pavement. He was going to destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
He was making shows from the PTQ. I think he won a title from the PTQ.
Yeah.
That was back in the exempt days. So, bowling the national stuff back then was a lot harder because you got kind of screwed because you had to bowl the PTQs just to get to bowl the
Yeah.
main event.
Yeah.
So if you cashed out of the PTQ, you got to pay that, and then you had to turn around. Hey, you made it. Good job. You got to pay another $300 to bowl tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of backstory on that, but anyways, we have a good in-depth conversation we can have about the staff life.
Yeah, and James has been on staff, has been off and then on for a couple of years and then back off of it. So we have several different kind of angles at that. But you get when you go through so much equipment, you get to know what you like, and again, it's kind of a trial and error thing. You just have to do it until you figure it out.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's just unfortunately the way that it kind of is. But
I enjoy it.
if you stop
Yeah.
and look at the details of what you like versus what you don't like, eventually you kind of narrow it down and get going in a certain direction.
I enjoy it, but like we can talk about it when that show kind of
Yeah.
a sneak peek. It's just more of a. I've taken on a new role, so it's going to keep me a lot busier, other than just throwing the bowling balls. So we can bring that up in the next show. I mean, we've already talked about it, but so. I mean, I just picked up 8 cases of bowling balls yesterday. 8 cases, and they haven't made them downstairs yet. They're sitting in front of the door. Well, we had to leave, so we dropped them off. Had to go run a couple errands, and then head this way. So it was like we gotta go. You walk in my entryway. It's hello bowling balls.
All right, so
She can,
so he sent us a follow-up email after we talked about a lot of this stuff. The last show.
what's his name? Is it Joseph?
Joseph. Yeah.
Joseph. Okay.
For those scoring at home, none of my points were deemed over the line, but you didn't strongly agree with any of them either. I found it mildly surprising to have you both squarely on the fence for every topic. So yeah, it's one of those things where I can see it from both sides. Like I definitely understand his point of view and see exactly what he's saying and agree with that, but I also have different it's one of those things where it's kind of muddy for me because
Right.
I can appreciate several different things.
Didn't he send?
I don't know if he sent a video in, but he'd love to hear some thoughts about finding good base layout and house shot ball selection.
Yeah. See, that's out of my.
I know people don't want to listen to a 230 average bowler complain about never being matched up, but it's downright embarrassing to bang my head against the wall shooting the same 680 every night while worse players crush me. And so that's one of those things about being so. It goes back to what he said about I'd rather see players who bowled the better game win over people that just found the right matchup, but it's all one and the same. If you don't know what you're doing, but you throw the ball good, I would rather not watch that because it's like, I don't know how many times I watch stuff like, why are you there with that ball, throwing that, looking at there's one of the...
That's what you do to me now.
Verity made, and I love Verity, but I watched one of the shows
Oh, about 3.
where she was trying to throw a frickin' Zen Master on something, and again,
Zen Master?
yeah, when you're, and I'm like, oh no, and she's like trying to play the whole lane with it. I don't know if it was, I think it was the show that,
Was it a PWBA then? I'm
yeah, it was a
assuming?
PWBA. I think it's the one that Jilly won, and Verity kind of
Texas, right?
yeah, Verity kind of snuck through the semifinal match with that Zen Master, and then she tried to throw it again, and I'm like, oh my god, please, I can't watch this. It's so bad.
Well, Ball
That
Rat might have
ball's
told her
so
to throw
bad.
it.
Huh?
Oh, the Zen Master.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Amanda actually asked me the other day, what about a Zen Master? I said, no. It wants to be the Zen so bad, but it's
God,
not.
it's not really close, and everybody that throws it, whether they think it's good or not,
And
it's
please, I'm not bashing the company. I just,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
good.
not that close
Pretend
to
I'm
the
not
Zen.
even-
That's the
yeah.
thing is people are. It's like, well, yeah, I like it, but I was surprised at how different
Yeah.
it is from the Zen.
Oh, God, yeah.
But she was trying to play like the whole lane with it, and
I mean, it is a
maybe
solid
she
cover,
didn't-
but it still
again,
should be,
You can nitpick stuff, and I wasn't there. I wasn't bowling on it. Maybe that's the best look that she had. But and that's the thing is it didn't look great. But sometimes the best look that you have isn't really that great, and you just have to for one game. You just have to figure it out.
Colin said Lucas basically describing what I feel about EJ half the time.
Yeah. So yeah, why?
Gosh darn it,
why,
EJ.
Yeah, why are you standing there? Why are you throwing that ball? And especially after seeing the look that Jilly had when she got out there, I'm like, well, Jilly's just going to win her first title. I mean, that just you go back and watch that show, and
I texted you that week and said
You
she's
see-
going to screw around and win her first title this week.
yeah, especially when
Yeah.
you see what Verity had in the match before with that stupid Zen Master, and then you go into the title match and you see a couple shots out of Jilly, and it's like, I mean, she just has to not do anything. It's like the Chris Barnes versus Michael Hagen thing. It's like you just
Oh,
have
that
to
match
not
still
be
drives me nuts.
stupid. Like all Jilly had to do was just not throw the ball out the window repeatedly,
Okay.
and she's
Barnes.
gonna cruise.
Yeah.
So
Kratos sent us in some money, Libigo, so it's got a good question here. Luke and John, what's your favorite all-time ASIM and symmetric pieces? Current line would be cool to know as well. Because he didn't really ask a question.
all
earlier, so
time, I
that.
think it's got to be the X Factor for ASIM because
I
it was
mean-
the astrophysics before the astrophysics.
I mean, yeah.
The X Factor was pretty.
X Factor was. I've talked
There's
to
a lot of
Amanda
the-
over and over again how much I loved the X Factor. The astrophysics was really
Yeah.
good. The Jackal Ghost for me, I love the Jackal Ghost,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not just being biased. That ball just looks really good for me.
Yeah, so all time's got to be the X Factor for me. Current's the UFO alert by a long shot because I just
Current will be the Jackal Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then the symmetric thing, it's both. Well,
That's the
I
ball
guess-
I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, It
Symmetric
can't-
of all time will be the depth charge.
Yeah,
I
It
love
can't-
that. I'm telling you, I love that long ball.
yeah. The
And we have
symmetric.
two in the house.
The
I
symmetric
love
for
it.
me is the Pro Motion, but the current, I don't even know if I have it. Well, the current might have to be the Hustle Camo. because
current
I
for
don't
me
have
would be the
anything
Venom
else that's
Shock.
that's both
So-
current and stateside.
I mean,
'Cause
we all
really
know.
like. I really
Venom
like
shock
that.
for me.
Yeah.
So.
I really like that phase. I really like the Phase G, but
Yeah.
it's overseas.
Yep.
It's not current. So
That's
yeah,
my favorite symmetric of all time, the gold one.
Yeah,
Yeah, the ball was silly.
the promotion is discontinued. I know.
Yeah, but of all time, what's your favorite symmetric of all time?
It's promotion. It has to be the promotion.
I should have known that. I don't even know.
Colin
even said synergy.
Now
Luke?
at this, yeah, the synergy is the synergy is probably my favorite symmetric current line ball. That's
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, synergy over the camo.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because the synergy's been the longest. That's the one that I've had all my 790s with. Last year when I went on that big run from January, or I guess this year when I averaged like 250.
Were
from
you a fan
January
of
to
the X
March.
Factor Ace at all?
No, I hated that one. But that was where I was starting to like throw it bad. So it was just too.
Her brother made that ball look silly.
Yeah, it was too over under for me. It was kind of like the Daredevil Danger.
I was never a
just
fan
you-
of the Ace. I
A little
liked.
bit more speed than Luke.
Yeah, it's true. I liked the Ace. That it was one of those that was just. It was kind of in between.
Yeah.
I always laugh because Randall actually kind of has a good amount of speed, but then he would scold her.
Well, so
Yeah, I know.
that's what Colin
Oh.
was. Colin was pointing out the synergy.
I was on
because he
tour- I
wasn't
was on,
questioning the synergy. He was pointing it out.
I was on the
because
Storm Staff
that's-
days of the Virtual Gravity days. So, Virtual Gravity is also another one that was amaze balls.
Yeah.
That was known back then as the cheater ball on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Before the Purple Hammer
Yeah,
existed.
before the Purple Hammer. There's always a cheater ball.
Anybody that was
There's
not
always a
affiliated
cheater
with a
ball.
staff position, they were throwing a Virtual Gravity.
So this is again, this is interesting to me, and this is probably why he kind of has the issues he does, because if you average 230, then you throw it most of the time you throw it pretty good, but there's a lot of people that just know what they're doing. I average 230 throwing it terrible. I average almost 240 throwing it terrible.
Which one?
Can't average 200 throwing it decent.
We're talking about Joe here. He's talking about the
Oh, okay.
we're
okay.
going back to this, talking about his previous email. He said, "I'd rather watch somebody throw the ball. I hate seeing the matches determined by who had the better ball reaction, not who threw the ball better."
Yeah.
And that kind of for me goes back to, well, yeah, but I was in the middle of that situation where I couldn't throw the ball better. I had to work angles and know what I was doing just to get by.
Mm-hmm.
And I averaged almost 240 a couple of years ago at Westridge.
You almost averaged 240 last year on the left side. You were 230 something, weren't you?
Well, I was 235 for a long time, and then the last several weeks went down.
I don't know what you
quite a
finished
bit
at, but
at Royal Crest.
yeah.
At 229 is what I finished at Royal Crest last year. But the
yeah.
last 2 years at Westridge were 239 and 234 or 235 or something. Not throwing it very good at all, and just
I should just
scraping
like
by.
give you this because if you can strike in that place,
Well, and that's
Yeah,
the thing is,
sorry.
it wasn't for throwing it good. That's for sure. It was for knowing what I was doing. And at some certain point, you throw it so bad for so long that it does kind of teach you what you have to do to get by. Because
yeah.
it obviously, and some other people like they throw it so well that everything looks good for them. And then when you get in a certain situation where you need to pay attention to what you're doing, or you need whatever else, well, sometimes they don't have it because they're used to being, and James is the perfect example there, because he throws it so good that he came to Kansas City and he was just lost because he's used to being able to overpower the lanes
you can't do that
with
out
his physical game.
Yeah, you can't do that at home.
Now that he has got that physical game and has learned so much, he came back and shot 2150 or something for all events in Kansas City this year versus the...
Are you talking the GKCO?
The KCO.
Yeah.
Was night and day difference, because now he still throws the ball well, but now he understands a whole lot better. It's not like he didn't understand what he was doing beforehand, but he understands a whole lot better the ball reactions and creating shapes, and he's gotten better a lot, physically and whatever else. But that's the thing is, I didn't have I had to know what I was doing. Now, and this kind of describes, again, kind of the James thing, is that, yeah, he came out here expecting to just roll over Kansas City because he rolls over everything on the East Coast. Well, it's different out here, so he had to learn a bunch of stuff.
I don't know.
Now
I don't know the
he's-
caliber of players he has out there either, though. Too.
Yeah.
So, like you come out here, it's literally a PBA regional every tour KC.
Yeah.
It's not every time, but it's pretty dang close. Wouldn't you agree?
You either have guys that are on tour or guys that could be on tour if it was more lucrative.
Every week, you go to Wichita, it's the same thing.
Because Trevor could be out there. Dylan
Oh,
could be
Trevor.
out there.
Yeah, Trevor. Dylan is out there, but he just chooses not to. Dylan bowls. He chases the regional stuff a lot.
Bo just won a regional. Riley
Yep.
has done really. He cashed in a.
He's bowling this weekend. Did he make the cut?
I
yesterday?
would imagine he did, because the last one that he did, he bowled really well in. So I never saw what.
Problem with the regional tour, you just don't make any money.
Yeah. It's one of those things. You're bowling a professional event just to bowl a professional event. You're not. It's one of those things like we go to a lot of these tournaments like Tulsa and Springfield and whatever else. So if it was,
You could make more money down
if
there
it was,
than you can
yeah,
there.
if it was specifically to make money, we probably wouldn't be doing it as much. But we'd bowl more for the experience, and if we just happen to make money, cool. But if that's kind of what people are bowling regionals most of the time, just because they want to bowl a professional event, not because they're actually making a living off of it or anything.
Yeah, I mean, you can make good money going down there. Like we can go to Springfield and have max out on brackets, and we could walk out with a lot of money.
But so the interesting thing here is that it sounds like he's frustrated because he feels like he throws the ball a lot better than other people that still score better than he does.
What's he talking about?
Yeah, we're
I know,
yeah.
but who's he? Is there a certain person he's referring to?
No.
Okay,
He just says, I know people don't want to listen to a 230 average bowler complain. So he was asking about a base layout, house shot ball selection, whatever else. I know people don't want to listen to a 230 average bowler complain about never being matched up, but it's downright embarrassing to bang my head against the wall shooting the same 680 every night while worse players crush me. So that explains the previous thought about, I'd rather watch somebody who throws the ball well
Yeah.
win
That's
versus
right.
somebody
Okay.
that's just matched
Yeah.
up better.
Yep.
And so that's where I kind of am on the opposite side because I've had to do all of that other stuff. And throwing it good wasn't an option. So that's why I kind of went off that rabbit trail because
Throwing good wasn't an option.
Throwing
so
it good wasn't an option for me. So I had to be the ball reaction,
Yeah.
lane play, angles, whatever else person.
Right.
So that's why I appreciate that more while he appreciates somebody who looks better throwing the ball more, who has better physical form. But you can't have one without the other.
Correct.
And people have continually talked to me. It's like, well, God, you average 230 right-handed, and you just change hands. It's like, well, you don't understand how bad it was.
Yep.
Like, yeah. So I can beat up a house shot, but it's never gonna be any better because I've got this physical limitation.
Yep.
Now that I don't really, I just have to I didn't want to take a couple years I didn't want to go through what I'm going through right now, just the ups and downs and up and down and whatever else and trying to put everything together, especially at 40. I don't want to start something all over again.
I watched one of your Nationals videos the other day, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
When you were right on the right side, it was weird as
Bad.
heck.
Bad.
Weird, though.
Yeah, I know. It was weird, but it was bad.
Yeah, I mean, there was the chicken wing there, but it's,
Yeah.
I honestly didn't think, just
It doesn't
ball
look
placement-wise, I thought
it-
you bowled pretty well.
It doesn't look near as bad as it feels.
It
And
was with Bruce. It was your normal group, but I don't
Yeah.
remember what year it was. But it was the one where you did everybody bowl.
it was 2 years ago. It was with Chaz and Dallas. That was the first year I went with them. It was 2019.
But that was a great video that you.
It ended up being a really good video.
It just, on the
But
right
yeah,
side, I don't
just-
think you threw it as bad as you really claimed you threw it.
It doesn't look as bad as it felt. But that's the thing, is that I couldn't ever throw higher quality shots. It was always kind of throwing it good enough to get by.
Yeah, you had the wing thing, but really, who cares? I mean, as long as you're coming
Yeah,
through clean.
yeah, I know, but unless I could play third or fourth, like if I could play fourth arrow and everything, I'd be fine. But when it's time to play straight, it's just kind of, when you're really uncomfortable and trying to force something.
Yeah.
I was holding it together more than anything. I wasn't really executing or making good shots. It was always just about holding it together or keeping my head above water or
Right,
staying out of trouble.
right.
And so I think the ceiling is a whole lot higher left-handed than it was right-handed.
Right. Sorry, I brought that up just because it was kind of on par there. It's just
Yeah.
one of those things where I did enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
I don't remember who was Chance River. Was he there?
Yeah, Chance was there.
I thought I saw Chance. I don't actually know Chance. I've never met him. I just know who he is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Chance is great to bowl with. We bowl with Zach Pelton too, and he's really solid. Spencer.
you didn't bowl with Zach that year though? Not in that video.
No, I don't think Zach bowled that year. We lost a lot of people.
Trust
Zach
me,
came out.
I've known Zach a really long time.
Hmm.
He's from.
But anyway, so this
Zach
this
Pelton? He
yeah.
works at Olathe Lane
So
East.
we can go on ahead and move on.
Yeah,
So we can go on ahead and move on from this. But yeah, that's probably what the deal is because I know a lot of people that, well, gosh, I throw it so good. I throw it so good. It's like, well, that's nice, but if you don't know what you're doing,
Yeah.
and not obviously you can't average 230 without knowing what you're doing. But there's
Right.
a lot of people that do really really well that. Again, like James, are kind of used to just overpowering the pattern with their physical game or having such a good physical game that they don't really need to pay attention to as much the rest of the stuff quite as much. And so when you do get into those situations where you need the knowledge, you need the experience, you need the technical ability, you need all that stuff,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, how are they scoring? They throw it terrible and I throw it good. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, that's because you need
They're playing the lanes the right way.
both
they're
of
not,
that stuff.
too,
And
as well.
I'm not.
Is that a supercharge, by the way?
That's a super. Yeah, I got a super. Got a super and a depth.
That's,
I had a power charge, I think.
the FYI, the
And there's
supercharges.
a hot rod back there. but
Supercharges.
You wouldn't know it's a hot rod unless
Mhm.
you know it's a hot rod.
Dude, I had the hot rod. I
Yes.
love that ball. Sorry.
The hot rod hybrid was the one for me. The blue one.
Love puke. No.
Yeah.
Brad had one of those. He threw the crap out of that.
Yeah.
So
Hot
Brad's
rod.
first, Brad threw that bowling ball, the depth charge and the supercharge.
Mm-hmm.
Brad threw the ever living crap out of the supercharge. By the way,
Yeah.
that's Brad's first 300 ball. By the way,
Mhm.
supercharge. Mine was my first 300 ball was a Storm Superpower. I still have it.
Yeah.
I can even bring it next week. It's old and beat up.
That's my second supercharge. That's my depth charge from the.
What's funny is my
When we get the resurfacing machine, we could like make them all pretty.
ooh, that would look. I would do it. What's funny though is because we bowled on wood so much at Laurel Lanes, is
Yeah.
they had the Guardian. Everything got beat up. Like
Yeah.
everything was beat
And
up.
that way, if you're going to display it, you can
I'll display it. Yeah, if you get it, I'll 100% do it.
Oh, we are getting it. It's just a matter of we need to.
Yeah, we'll
get
pretty
this
everything
down.
up.
It's still sitting downstairs, and that thing
Mhm.
has not cracked. It's a tank, man. It's still just.
Hey, Mark, you're not late. Well, you're kind of are.
Gravity.
You're a few beers
Oh, yeah.
behind,
There you
which
go.
is the most important.
Yeah, you're a
thing.
few
But-
beers behind, and we still got
Yeah, I
chili
was
to
gonna
eat.
say-
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you might slow down because you have more to drink too. today.
And I think the other one is
Yeah.
more of a
Well,
test.
I need.
think
I
we're just-
don't need. I don't think I need to slow down. I need more water.
I think
We
we're
talked
doing.
about this the
I think
other
we're
day.
doing.
No,
I can,
I've got a bottle of water here. I just need to actually drink it here before I.
at
start
Trevor's, we're
kinda-
doing testers. They're
Yeah.
testing. We're doing. They're little
Yeah, I
testers. So,
But by the time you.
but there's
test
like
20
30
different
something beers there.
Correct. That's-
It's like brew at the zoo.
Guardian was
bringing our
blowing on a
glasses.
large piece of Scotch tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was beat up, and that bowling center was old. 1 and 2, I remember one. If you hit a certain spot on the wood was lifting up, and it hopped. The ball would hop. I remember that. Sorry. Rest in peace, Laurel Lanes. I miss you.
Mm-hmm.
That place was great.
All right. Well, I'm gonna leave you by yourself here for a minute.
Okay, Luke's got to relieve himself
Oh,
apparently.
yeah, can you get
And then when you get back, you want to do some coaching?
Huh? Yeah. We
Okay.
got that video to look at.
Yeah, we got some coaching. Are we going to do the one we talked about?
Yeah. I think so. There should only be like one in there.
I think there's actually 3 in there, but that's okay.
Probably only one that he's looked at.
Anyways, look, we were talking about everybody that's got 300s. Let's put your first or 800 if you don't have a 300. Put your first underscore ball in the chat. I would like to see it. So it'd be.
Or near miss, even like you had 11 or
Oh yeah, even near miss. I would like to see it. So yeah, mine was a Storm Superpower. It's still sitting downstairs. I will never get rid of it. And what's funny is about that ball is it was not a brand new ball. Gannon Williams. I got it from his dad. Gannon says, "I got this from my dad. I don't want it. Do you want to throw it?" I plugged it, drilled it, and shot 300 with it. The very next weekend at youth state tournament, I went 300, 230, 300. Or sorry, no, 230, 300, 230, 300. Yeah, it was a triple. I could have had a triplicate. I have the score sheet on the wall, right? I had the printout. Anyways, it was almost a triplicate. It was like 230, 300, 230. I went the first game, one score, 300, and then the same as the first game. So I want to say maybe it's 220. I had to bring it because I've still got the printout of it. So, and I actually had an ad done in the paper. Was the paper Independence, Missouri did a deal on myself.
What
And
center was it at?
it was in Joplin, Missouri.
Oh,
Carl Richards Bowl East.
Yep, the one that you have 2 different levels.
No. That's unless they've added that. It's Carl Richards Bowl East. That one, I think that center's gone now.
Oh, so there were 2 Carl Richards.
At that time, that's why it was East, and the other one was Carl. Yep. I think that center is gone now. That center was.
Okay, the only one I've been to is the one that had the 2 levels.
I think that's the only one that's there now.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
okay.
The center was so easy. High Road Nano, 300 sanctioned. Beautiful. Wait, does it have to be sanctioned or just 300? 300, fine. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I don't care. Code Black, 805. Code Red, 300. Sweet. Code Lock, 300. My goodness. Is there a lot of locks and codes? Yeah. Haven't you? I was close with the Proton. What'd you shoot with the Proton? Just curious. Halo Salt. Oh, chat's leaving me here. I'm trying to get to it. Apple, and I'm not used to it. There we go. I should have brought my mouse. Halo Solid 300, January 24th, 2019. Literally first game out of the box, drilled by AJ Chapman. Sweet. First 800 track hex. Nah, we're gone. Problem is, there's a trackball, and your name's Storm B28. Nah, I'm just kidding. Brunswick Danger Zone, first 300, 800. Track Voodoo, first 300. Out, sorry, Mark.
I think it was the blast zone. Luke went and drilled one, came out of the shop, threw 300, and walked right back in the shop. He
I've
threw
only done
12
that with
shots.
I've only done that with one ball ever, where I off the press, went out and practiced with it, shot 300, and it was done. And that was with a raw hammer Doom,
Oh, jeez.
purchased by my current at the time was my current girlfriend, Amanda Hawes. She purchases it for me for an anniversary or something. She says, "What do you want for your birthday or this and this and this and that?" And I said, I want this ball." Okay. So went and drilled it off the press, literally pulled it off the press and shot 300. Raw hammer Doom. Yes. I still wish I had that ball. We're in the chat talking about people's first 300s and 800 balls.
Oh yeah, I was actually I was thinking about asking about that before I.
Shot 800 with a Black Widow, Dark Legend, and a Vandal van on the left lane. Cool. Sorry, we're just having some fun while Mr. Bell grumbled.
Yeah.
Mr. Bill, having some fun while look $2.99 with the Proton. Is
I
that
remember my
you haven't had
series
300 yet?
Because I only had like 3
I'm
balls at the
assuming.
time, and this ball came from Luke.
Yes, it has to be sanctioned. Unsanctioned 300s don't count.
You know what?
Sorry.
I told people that they can if it's sanctioned, unsanctioned. I don't care.
This is
Shut
just
down.
for discussion. So this
They-
is
I shot $2.99 to head pin sit back
Practice
up.
scores count for
What?
confidence, but not for anything else. I used to shoot. You know how many cosmic? We were talking about this the other night when they turned cosmic on. I was practicing. I've got so many cosmic honor scores. I don't
How?
know. I don't know. Well, because I can't see what the ball's doing. So
That's the problem.
no, that's not the problem. That's perfect because then I can just get inside with people throwing stuff at me. We'd go out with the group back in the day.
Is that
with
what I
Brian-
need to do, is just
Brian
start throwing
Barr and
stuff
Matt
at you?
Phelps and Bobby Rowland and go back in that.
He gets so focused on where did the ball hit here at the arrows? Did it cross this way?
Yeah.
How far did it start? Did it check it 22 feet or 23 feet? Like he gets so anal about it.
Yeah,
if
you're
you
too-
take that away.
You're too
It's
technical.
all
Yeah, yeah.
junk.
Stop that.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Stop it.
if you put me bowling cosmic, it's like having 3 or 4 beers without actually having one, because
No.
it takes away a lot of the distraction, so I can just throw the ball good
As soon as that came on,
because I can't
last
see
night.
what the ball's doing. Oh my god! Well, that's when I started just really dumping on it. So
As
I
soon as
just-
that
I
came
just
on
started
Friday,
throwing-
I was done.
I
Like, I'm over it.
started
That's
throwing.
actually probably what we ought to do. We ought to start go practice cosmic because then you get that muscle memory.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate it.
God, Cosmic's amazing. I've got some, and people were throwing stuff at me.
I'm surprised
That-
Raylan-
We
it
just
get,
need to do that. Stick
it
around
get to the
Fridays
point
and
where
we'll
I
see the
was.
Raylan should have woke up. If she'd have woke up, she'd have freaked out because she loves that. Because the
Because-
only time she's ever done it was we did it at Gage when they do it
Yeah.
during the day, and they literally had half the building had lights on. They weren't doing any music. It was just lights.
Oh yeah, we can go bull Cosmic at Royal sometime.
We need to do that.
Yeah, that'd be
No,
Just
yeah.
stay late.
Friday night.
Feed her
Yeah,
full of caffeine.
Friday night after league, let's just hang out and bowl
Yeah.
Cosmic.
Well, they weren't
That's
stupid
great.
busy either.
No, that's the thing. So yeah, we
We
can
literally
stick
just
around
could have
and
stayed
hang
on the
out.
same pair.
That'd be good for
Yeah.
muscle memory for you. Because
Yeah.
You need that.
I'm just
Yeah.
there.
The Flash Force. Figured it out.
Oh, the Flash
That was
Force.
my first 300.
Yeah.
Oh my
She was
gosh.
determined when you
That
got
Only
was-
because I took a picture of it in my.
Well, I was gonna say that one was kind of ugly too,
It was
wasn't
just
it?
that ball
Wasn't it
was
like
hot
this
garbage.
dark
Very
green?
dark.
Yeah, it was like a dark green navy. What I had one of those.
It was hot garbage, is what that ball was.
Hey.
I had one and threw it.
Mm.
Anyways, you missed the story
But-
though that about my first 300 ball. You were gone. The Storm Superpower that I had, it was actually Gannon Williams' dad's ball.
Oh yeah.
And he had it, and he's like, I hate it, blah, blah. I was like, I'll buy it from you. I gave him like $30.
Yeah.
And I took it, plugged it, drilled it, shot 300 with it the first time out. My first one ever. In Joplin, Missouri at Carl Richards Bowl East. The center's gone. That's what she was talking about, the 2 levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you haven't been to the Joplin. They have a center that has 2 levels.
It's been a long.
There's an upper,
Yeah.
isn't an upper deck and lower deck?
Yeah, Carl Richard,
Luke said
Fourth
they did
Fourth
some
Street
GM
Bowl.
keys
Yeah.
there.
Well, there used to be a center called Carl Richards Bowl East, and
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
gone.
no, I have. It's
Yeah,
just
we
been a
need Joplin's
really
another
long
one that
time.
we need to go because I bowled that with Joe Bush and Zoran.
I've been hit
those
up to
guys one
ask,
time,
so if
and I
you
was
guys
such
wanna
a-
go,
I was
it's
such
only a couple
baby
hours
that
away, so.
Yeah, I was such a baby that they didn't ask me to bowl again.
You bowled bad.
No, I bowled bad, but I was also being a baby about bowling bad, and that just doesn't fit in with Joe and
It happens.
Vonderbrug and those guys.
No,
so,
they'll get over it.
yeah, but it just didn't really. They're Richard Crocker and those guys. They just it's kind of like bowling with Russ and Jay and those guys. If you're not kind of even keel and just kind of relax, they don't want a drama queen in the middle of stuff. It just ruins it. For
I mean, I don't
everybody,
like to
and-
bowl bad either. I kind of fry out.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
should,
but-
we should stream a Cosmic practice session. That'd be fun.
Hilarious.
That would
But
be
yeah, because we used to bet money. That's the thing is we used to bet money on these games,
fun. Yeah.
and I just obliterate these guys at the time.
Yeah.
And so after the game was over, they just started throwing stuff at me.
That could be
Well, I
the
was
introduction
shooting
to
my-
an Instagram page.
What's
You
that?
could do an Instagram live cosmic.
Yeah. We need to do an Instagram breakdown pair. We could have some fun with that
Mm-hmm.
on the road. I could even set one up. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Mm-hmm.
The breakdown pair Instagram.
Woof. What's
Who in the chat? How many of you would follow the breakdown pair on Instagram? Because we could have some fun with that. especially on the
Everybody.
road. We could have some really, especially with Luke and I's imagination.
Yeah. I've got my first.
Well, to say the 4 of us could
right
actually
here.
add it.
Yeah.
Because then we can
Yep.
add stuff when
Yep.
you guys are.
I think we'd have some fun with that. I really do. Oh, is that an El Nino?
El Nino 2000.
Brad had one of those. I never had one.
This
I don't
is
have
back when I
Instagram.
first started getting into
Bowling ball review, you need to get one because we're gonna get it. I'm gonna make us a page.
into stuff. This was my first 300 ball. And yes, I put stupid quick plug in it because I wanted to try something different and I ruined it. But anyway,
So now you need to drill it out and fix it.
this is when I was getting into bowling stuff, and I convinced my parents that I needed because I was using. I didn't have a credit card, and so I was using their card. I was just giving them the money and ask.
That's perfect.
But they're like, "Why are you spending so much money on bowling balls?" And I said, "Well, this is the last. This is the one. This is like the last one that I needed because I got all the bunch of. I had an El Nino Gold. I had the Exit. I had the Trauma." And I'm like, "This is the
Trauma
last."
and Trauma ER were good.
Yeah, this is the last one that I was looking at that I really needed. And I got it, and I shot my first 300 with it the second week.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, pig, yeah. I
Don't
saw
you have a
pig
Trauma
with it.
sitting over there?
Recovery down there.
Oh, it's a
The
recovery. Trauma recovery. That ball was.
That one was amazing.
Yeah, it
I
was.
never shot any honor scores with it, but I had some of my bigger
Ugliest
sets.
thing ever.
Yeah, it's terribly, terribly ugly.
Kratos, that ball is ugly to me,
But-
LL, but would I still throw it? Yes.
Yeah. El Nino
That's the next
Chief.
question you need to ask. In their opinion, what is the ugliest ball ever?
Yeah,
Put
ugliest
that-
ball of all
Give
time.
me that recovery.
All right, let's go. Let's put this in the
Huh?
chat. Let's go. Ugliest
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, ugliest ball ever.
ball
El
of
Nino Wrath.
all time.
Yeah.
Go.
All right, so you think that this ball's really pretty. It's kind of an orange and red pearl.
This is before the scents.
The recovery, well, no, that one actually should smell like peppermint, believe it or not.
It definitely doesn't. It smells like nothing.
Yeah, well, it's 20-some years old. This is the ugliest ball ever made by a long shot.
Not gonna get in trouble for taking storm balls. And
Yeah.
Forge Flare, get out of here. Ugliest ball of
Yeah.
all time, Forge Flare. Kratos, get out of here.
No, this
Get
is
outta
by
here.
far the ugliest ball I've ever seen. It's this ugly kind of navy blend. I don't know what this gold is. This
It's
is
like
like,
an olive.
this is like, yeah,
Yeah.
it just, and the red doesn't even look
20
good.
years ago, they looked so much better.
The red doesn't even look good. I mean, this is just the ugliest ball, period.
Yeah.
It just doesn't even make any sense how ugly this ball is.
All I
it
know
just
is
doesn't.
Kratos needs to get out of here. The candy corn ball, you can't talk crap on.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that. That needs holes.
16 pounds.
No,
What, it'd be 15.
Rook sent it to me.
no.
Rook did?
Rook did, yep.
Where did
I
he get
traded
his hands
him.
on that?
I don't know. He found it somewhere.
He's a Vegas guy,
And
right?
I sent him something, and I just wanted this for a collectible ball. He said, "Hey, this is cool." I'm like, "God, I'd really love to have that," and so I traded him something for it. But this is
A trend.
ugly.
I could literally, a trend? You traded for a trend? I literally
Yeah,
could
what,
sit here and just
what is
look
with
at
that
old bowling
puke
balls all day.
color on the trauma recovery? Yeah, that's exactly what that brown kind of gold. I don't know who looked at this and like, yeah, let's make a
Mark
bowling.
says I would call it Ugly Betty.
Yeah,
Yes,
let's
Colin,
make
I
a
know
bowling
that
ball
works
that
in
looks like that.
Just where the heck did he get it from? Is what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
This is a gem and a half right here. Like
Yep.
It was he used to throw 16, so it may have been one of those things that he
I've
was
never thrown
considering.
16. Yeah, just it's one of those. It's
Yeah.
I mean that is a gem and a half right there.
AccuTread Pearl Particle. Back when they were.
If somebody
calling
ever
balls
would find
particle.
me a X Factor,
Mhm.
I would get my hands on one and I'd keep it.
Oh yeah,
Can't,
for like
AccuTread
$500.
AccuTread Mystic.
can't throw
Pearl.
it, but
Yeah.
I just wanted so I can show it off and put it right here.
Yeah. AccuTread Mystic Pearl. It's the only ball that they use Mystic Pearl on was
yeah.
the X Factor.
Well, I can throw it.
No, you would not put holes in that. That would not happen.
Yeah, Torrent, a ball that died on shelf appeal. The Torrent looked a lot like the Flash Force.
I can still tell you the ball smelled like chocolate, and I could literally just take the ball and
Yeah,
smell
this is the other thing. The Torrent was kind of that dark forest green and blue color, and it came out with Timeless, which is unfortunately exactly what's going to happen to the UFO Alert, because it's kind of sharp looking, but it's not bright. It's kind of darker colors, but it came out with the dark code, and so everybody's buying the dark code. The Alert is
it.
amazing.
You can throw it when no one is looking.
I've actually got the report card coming out for the UFO Alert here in a couple days, and it's, man, current ball line that's ugly, the Storm Insight. Yeah, the Insight doesn't look a whole lot different from this. It ups in the chat. What's the one color? If they took, so look at the Insight. It's that red and silver and gold, but if you take the gold and you instead made it Axiom Pearl Blue,
Is that a 14
all of a
pound
sudden
thing?
you've got red, silver, and that bright kind of pretty opaque looking blue. all of a sudden you've got something that looks pretty sexy.
Is that a 14-pound Zin?
No, that's just the box it came in. There's a Crux Prime in that box.
Oh yeah.
I've never done that one. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a guy on Friday, and I forgot to take it to him on Friday, but there's a guy on Friday
you have
that.
to say something first. Because
Yeah.
You don't know if he wants to pay it.
Yeah, that's.
What's the matter? I want to talk about that. Off
No, we
camera.
got Colin. Colin found a Crux Prime. There's a guy on Friday nights that really likes the Prime.
But he didn't want to spend $300.
But yeah, he's like, oh, I don't want to spend $300. I'm like, I'm pretty sure like nobody really liked him. I'm pretty sure I can find you one for a decent price. And so I found him one for $150. Colin
In
brought
our-
it.
Oh, not in our league.
Friday
On
night's in
Friday
our
Night
league.
League. Yeah.
Who the
There's a
heck
guy
is
that-
it?
There's a guy that loves the Crux Prime.
We bowled him.
We bowled him the week that you weren't there.
Yeah.
Is that the Purple Hammer guy week?
No.
Yes.
Had to be,
Yes.
Yes.
because we didn't bowl the Purple Hammer guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
it is.
that was the first.
The guy throwing Purple Hammer on a house shot league in Lawrence.
It wasn't
Yeah.
the Purple Hammer guy, but it was on his team.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good thing I missed that week. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't care. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
Trauma recovery.
I was so mad at you for like
Yeah.
a week.
Because it was totally her
Still
fault.
mad
I
at
was
you
gonna
over that.
say, was
Yeah.
man, you still don't let them
Mhm.
live down.
That's all right. You can't help it. Anyways, trauma recovery.
Because she go lick,
One of the
she went and
goats.
licked the person that had it.
Yeah. I mean,
She might have. You just didn't tell me. Supercharged. I don't think I ever realized that you had a supercharged sitting up there though. I just watched. I remember Brad throwing that.
Yeah, that's my second one.
Brad would throw the crap out of that. I would throw the crap out of the depth charge X Factor. That was the era. I love that era. The true roll that they had in the depth charge. They talked about the true roll in it. I was like, ah.
Yeah. Mark Davis and Scott. The Storm pin buffer layout system trilogy show it way better than I could ever make it in a video. So most of the time when people talk about the skid roll and hook and showing different layouts and different cores and covers and explaining all that stuff, they do it so well in that video that there's no way I could make anything that would compete with that. So
Luke, is your maybe
No.
you can help this out, Christian Burr? Oh, maybe it's a joke. Hey, Luke, not sure if you can help
Oh.
me. I bowled the Greater Kansas City Open with a team that needed a spot for the last minute. I ended up doing pretty good in cash. Don't know who my team captain was. Tobias Myers invited me and said it was something about you and Angel. How?
Oh, okay. They haven't sent checks out.
Okay.
So
no checks out.
yeah, Christian, that's me and Angel. So Angel actually is the team captain.
El Capitan.
So yeah, everything was paid for. So you subbed in, so you'll get the money for whoever you subbed in for. But yeah, they just finished up the tournament a week or two ago, and so yeah, they won't.
Yeah, and if the check gets mailed to me for whatever reason, I'll give it to Tobias.
Yeah. As soon as checks get sent out, we'll get everything taken care of. So. And if you want to bowl again next year as a regular member,
Am I still included?
I guess.
another pandemic.
Yeah.
Something
Say, am I included?
If you actually show up this time,
Well, I wanted to.
we ended up with like 3
like
totally
that.
new teams.
I would have. Actually, I think is Jesse Bauer going to join the group now permanently, or he talked?
Oh, probably they. Yeah, but I mean, if they want to.
I thought he
We'll-
said something about he
we'll put
wanted to
together
join the
as many-
group and bull.
Primarily, we want it full of like Discord people.
Yeah, but I think he said something about he wanted if he
But-
was
No,
open.
if subs come in, we're not going to tell them,
Yeah.
oh well, sorry, this was just a one-time deal or whatever.
No, if we got and that's just the thing. Like Danny Bradley and Jeremy Raygard, they loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
You gotta
and
add
so
them.
they're going to be
Our
back
group,
again.
period.
Yeah, Rodney wants to be back in it, and Santana is going to bowl next year too. So that's-
Santana Reed.
Yeah, so that's gonna be it's gonna be Danny and Santana and Jeremy and Rodney for one team. So
Rodney. Burr?
Carter.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so
No,
used
the
to
four
it.
of them will make up a team.
Good.
No,
Yeah.
if we end up getting subs and they want to
Good.
join our group.
Yeah, if they
Love
want.
it.
Yeah, if they want to keep bowling, then
Danny
yeah.
Spin Biscuit is what Mr.
Yeah.
Bill called him.
Yep, there we go.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
Jesse and Chinoa are great. And if they want to bowl again, yeah, they're. Oh yeah, Christian, just join the Discord. Sweet.
sweet.
So,
Mr.
yeah,
Bill
yeah,
has
you're
the
definitely
best,
in.
or no, Mr. Bill. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you
Danny
want to bowl
Bradley.
again, you're in.
Danny Bradley has the best nickname for me ever. He's called me this for 20 years.
Mighty Mouse.
Called me that for 20 years.
Half pint.
Half pint's pretty good.
Yeah.
Welcome to Breakdown Pair. I'm Half Pint. This is Princess
Yeah.
Sour.
Yeah, yeah. God, I love my sours.
Sorry, Miso, I didn't know you were.
Yeah,
Oh, they
Princess
you're
Sour
hanging.
and
Oh,
double
whoa,
meaning.
whoa. Okay,
Princess
that's
Sour.
cracked. That's not good.
sour puss and
I knew
sour
that was
grapes.
gonna crack, but because
That's all right. This is
crack. Just
We are,
crunch, crunch, crunch. Put your feet on that.
so yeah. Danny's called me that for
Mm-hmm.
like
Did
20
you
something
crack it?
years.
Did you really?
Yes,
So-
because I put my foot on. It's probably cracked on the bottom, but I went to rest my foot on it and it cracked.
Put another bar or something.
Yeah, you can fix that. So I want to get a jersey now. I think I want to do a Mighty Mouse jersey.
You should.
'Cause it just I loved Mighty Mouse as a kid. Loved it. That shows my age. Uh-oh.
Missile.
All right, let's do a coaching
Get a
session.
missile? Yeah.
Before
All
we
right. So
finish
yeah, we
up
got
here.
that. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got. I just started my chili warming up. We got some places things to do and some places to be.
And some football to watch.
Yeah.
You put it in the crock pot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I took it out when I went
Go
upstairs.
Broncos, by the
I
way.
saw your. Are you taking a batch for your little competition? Or
Danny
you
was
wanna-
awesome
or
at
you
Rex.
just-
Making something to snack on, so I wasn't starving when I got there.
Mr. Bill, as you know, anybody with speed and rev rate will always do something different to a pattern.
All right. Okay. So Colin sent something. It says whoops.
Amanda's brother, I loved him, but when we bowled together, that guy tears a pattern apart. Just tears it apart.
Randall.
Tears a pattern apart. A lot of rev rate and a lot of speed. Is you getting Brian's too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Colin. This is the one that Colin sent in about the.
Who's this?
But that one's
I don't know.
gonna be a little-
This is the market zero.
Oh, Market Zero.
15-pound I wonder if that's.
Oh yes. Oh, he stopped it with his feet.
The kick save. That's great.
That's
I
good.
would have fallen all over myself and whoops.
Stop. Ball's gonna go.
It
Oh.
didn't go over the line.
In Wichita, that'd have been a
So
foul.
it's not over the line. Yeah. That's great.
You can't. Market Zero.
See, this is the kind of stuff we want to see. We don't want to see the.
That's good.
We don't want to see stuff that we can find on YouTube ourselves. We want to see cool stuff.
That was good.
Yeah, take your own videos.
Yeah, we want to.
Somebody needs to get the one of me when we did the demo in Omaha, and Mark told me to go throw balls, and in my tennis shoes, and I was like, dude, I can't do it in tennis shoes because I just want to slide. First ball I threw fell on my face. True story. Carry on.
There we go. All right, so we got
Fell
one.
on my
we got
face.
a coaching video we're gonna hit, and then we'll probably call it a bowling.
Hope everybody's enjoyed the show today. We
okay,
just tried to do
so-
something a little different, so kind of rambling, us kind of chit chatting, having some fun. We will get back to segments if
bowling
you guys
ball.
like the way we're doing
bowling
it.
ball review sent something in, and then Brian Burlisle sent something.
So let's
in,
watch them both.
so,
Let's watch them both.
yeah.
Bowling ball review and Brian Burlaw. We'll watch them both and we'll get out of here. Get out of your hair. Hopefully you guys had fun. We're interacting with the chat. That's been fun.
YouTube view on YouTube.
We will not have a show next week too, by the way. We will, like we talked about, we'll be in Tulsa. Great opportunity, by the way, if we create an Instagram to post pictures on the Instagram and videos.
Two-handed.
Shot. I'm not good on the
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty.
I'm not good on the two-handed
That's
coaching.
pretty solid.
I
After.
look at you, it's like,
Well, I haven't tried sitting back there the entire time.
Uh,
But yeah, now I'm just totally going away.
inside of it, really good actually.
Yeah, the timing's better.
vacating the
Yeah,
all right.
because I am crying.
Yeah, the time. Yeah, the tempo and the timing is a lot better. What are you crying?
I'm sitting behind the lights.
Oh yeah, that's why I wear. That's why I wear those glasses. But the light always glares off the glasses. So.
I'm not great on two-handed play again.
So, yeah.
It's not that bad.
Two-handed game, I can almost not tell you anything. I just don't know. So I kind of
Yeah,
feel
the
bad
timing.
here.
The timing's earlier here because it's still kind of moving when the So it's still kind of moving while the arm swing's going. So that's one of my problems that I was having here too, is that everything was happening or my arm swing was getting there too early. Now the arm swing's a little bit more delayed, and the plant, and then the
Oh, okay. Yep, the plant helps. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the other one was hopping. That looks good.
I do notice that with different two-handers, like their backswing, sometimes tuck, sometimes out, their left
the tempo's slower and the timing's a whole lot better. So yeah, watch that one more time. So watch the first few shots, and I like the way that you set this up, by the way, because that gives us something good to look at. You show the before and the after, and this is done well.
How do you guys decide
There
who
you
to
go.
watch? We'll tell you that in just a second, Christian.
So beforehand, the timing was the swing timing was too early, and you can see that in the balance. So you can see the swing starting too early, and everything's kind of getting there at the same time, and so you're going to have to step
He
off.
looked kind of flat at the top of his
Yeah,
hand too. At
so-
the top of that.
Now,
I did notice that.
foot speed's a little slower, and then the plant, and then the follow through. It's subtle, but it's just enough. So the foot speed's a little slower, and then the plant, and then the follow through. So the swing timing's a whole lot better.
Oh yeah.
So a little slower.
Actually, that's pretty solid right there.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie to you and tell you I'm really good on the two-handed game, unfortunately. But Christian Burr, how do you guys decide who to watch? Christian, we just kind of go in order the emails come in, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you send an email,
Send us in, we'll get to you.
We will
How about
get
that?
to it. But
Yep.
after watching you at KCO, I don't think there's anything to really fix. No, send a video in because Jonathan wasn't there. He didn't get to see.
Oh no, I didn't get to see anything.
But I asked Tobias, I'm like, holy crap, who is this kid?
Really?
Yeah, lefty two-hander.
Where Christian? Where's he from? Where you from, Christian?
He bowls with Tobias.
He bowls it. Yeah, he's in Kansas City.
Oh, cool.
I'm like, holy crap, where
I
did we
am
get this
definitely-
guy at?
So send something in. We can still look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, we're just going to show your game off. How about
All
that? Brian Burlisle. He's actually sent one in before, but he's been working on some stuff, and it kind of got back to some issues he was having
My
before. So let's take a look at
swing
it.
still trends behind my back. I'm attempting to keep my shoulders more closed. As you can see, my release is still struggling, but I think it has a lot to do with trying to reroute the ball from bringing it behind my back. I think my physique is a bit lanky, so my biomechanics might differ from the average bowler. Please let me know some of the things you might suggest based off the clip provided. So, the heckin' tubes.
The tubes. Here we go. On YouTube while we're watching YouTube.
Trying to set this on loop.
Wow, he needs to be more stable at the line for a while.
Yeah.
All right, let me get back here and watch this. He must work out.
All right, so the first, you're
That wasn't as bad.
no the arm. There's really nothing wrong with the arm swing. Going behind yourself a little bit, like Jesse Bauer really gets it behind himself, but he gets it behind himself.
He's
and then he gets,
almost like
then
head
he gets
level.
inside of it. What I don't like is look how you're
He's
trying to close
pointing that
your-
way, too.
Yeah, you're kind of pointing your entire body one direction, then trying to turn it the opposite direction. And then when you're coming back through the ball, you're getting your arm around you instead of where your arm is starting from, getting it behind you helps you get inside the ball. You'll see a lot of pros.
Look at that left foot. It's
So,
pointing.
you're
You're literally pointing that towards lane 2.
So you want to
Yeah.
open your shoulders up.
Yep.
And then when you're coming through the ball, the thing is that you're going around your body instead of staying inside and behind the ball.
I'd like to see him get under it a little more
So
too.
that's why I want to go back and look at the why are we okay.
What's the problem?
Well, I'm trying to keep my shoulders more closed. I think that's the
I mean,
opposite of
at the
what
back
you're
of the
helping.
swing, his hand's inside of it.
Yeah,
but
you can start wherever you want to start. John Baton kind of does this too, and it drives me a little insane. But because he starts like really open, and he starts kind of this way, and then
Is that
he
a
kind of
lunar?
it's a
Yeah.
lunar.
yeah, he's
Yeah, no, I see the back.
yeah. See, watch his hands inside of it right there. He's getting through the inside of it.
But his arms.
Yep. So
way far
so what happens is it turns out to be outside of it.
So yeah, I don't know why.
You've only got a couple more minutes forward.
Yeah, I know.
From-
I don't know. You probably don't want to keep your shoulders more closed, unless that's something that we said last time that you needed to close your shoulders a little bit more. I don't think you want to be aiming your shoulders in the direction of your target, is really what you want to do. Because, and then once you start inside the ball and it kind of gets behind you, you want to stay inside of it and then get through it. Instead of
He's kind of flat handing it.
yeah, instead of circling around it. That was always my problem with the chicken wing
Yep.
is that I could kind of get behind it, but then I'd open up and it'd kind of be out here and there's
You
no
kind of twirl
leverage.
it.
Or,
You twirl it
yeah,
instead
there's
of
no leverage or kind of, and this is something that Brad has worked on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Staying, getting it behind it, staying inside of it, and then staying inside of it and projecting the ball and shooting it instead of kind of
Twirling
getting
it,
it back and then wrapping around.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to see you get your hand underneath it a little more too. It's one of those that's going to be hard to just be like, yeah, get your hand under it. You're just going to have
Mr.
to.
Bill says elbow in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get that elbow in too. Yes, Mr. Bill. See it again here.
Brian.
Yeah, that elbow is flying out. Get that elbow closer to that body, closer towards your hip when you get in. It'll help you also stop you from kind of twirling it.
All right.
So
So let's.
we can help out Brian with whatever you need. So feel free to send us in more. We can keep going from there. Yeah, that's the big thing. That elbow is when he's going to release point. His elbow is here, and if he was here, because his hand's inside of it up
Okay.
top.
Well, here's
Yeah, here's an old
here's
one
one that we looked at.
before. Hands inside of it up top. Loop it again.
Okay, can we?
Yeah.
Full screen. Come on. What are we doing here?
You can do it.
My freaking laptop's on the it's on the one upstairs instead of the one just literally 3 feet that way through the wall.
Right. Door's open.
All right,
There we go.
if I can get it to go full screen. So it's better. It's a whole lot better. This is from a couple months ago.
Yeah, he's got elbows bent pretty bad there. Oh no, actually that wasn't bad.
Well, and that's the thing is the shoulders are in a lot better position. I don't know that we would have said anything about closing his shoulders more because that all looks pretty good, and he's actually more inside the ball there.
Yep. Still would like to see him get under it.
Yeah.
Elbow's not falling out as bad either.
Well, that may be a thing right
Yeah.
now. It just may not have the wrist, the wrist, hand, arm strength, or the strength in the right places.
I like
that
that
to
shirt,
work
by the
out.
way. I used to work there.
Yeah.
Blue Springs Bowl? Yeah, I used to work there.
See, I like the shoulder position and the drop. The drop shoulder. They always used to say don't drop your shoulder, but you kind of want to.
The game has changed so much since then, yeah.
So you want to be able. That actually looks really good.
Yeah, the only thing I'm seeing is just kind of at the bottom, it's just kind of flat. Just get your hand
Yeah.
underneath that, and it won't be terrible. As you build up the string, maybe it's just hands inside of it, really good. He's not kind of coming and doing this. I think honestly, in the old video the video we watched, correct me if I'm wrong, Luke, but it's a lot of it's that swing that's kind of just coming out here. So when
Yeah.
he's coming at the bottom of the swing,
Whoops.
he's inside of it, but he's kind of finishing here. Just get, like Mr. Bill said, get that elbow in, and I think it will help a lot.
Okay. So we're gonna.
Wouldn't you agree, Angel? From what did you watch the other one?
Oh, from the arm.
Well,
out,
it's like
All right. So now we saw
Yeah.
that one. Now this is back to the one.
right here.
where
Watch
we
this.
just- So the shoulders are closed for some reason. The swing
Yeah.
the swing
Hands
path
coming
is
here.
still the dropping the shoulder and the swing path still looks great on the way back. But then as soon as you get to the bottom, you kind of get around it. But you want to get through it and stay behind it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would open the shoulders back up because you're pointing. You're
Oh,
pointing
yeah, they're-
that direction.
They're square now.
And you're having to turn to instead
Well,
throw it the opposite
Wouldn't you
direction.
say a lot of it's the setup? Because I'm sorry,
Yeah.
he's literally pointing that way.
Yeah, you
Literally, the feet are like pointing towards lane 2. Watch that foot.
everything's pointed straight left, and then you have to turn the
Yeah.
opposite direction to kind of throw it at your target. I can see why your scores are going up.
Is that a promotion?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's a promotion. Looks like a promotion.
Would you stop it?
I can see why your scores are going up because you're throwing a promotion. But no, I can see everything. The tempo's a lot better. Everything's a lot
This guy.
slower. Everything's a lot smoother. I don't like how you're setting up.
Yeah, look at that foot.
And you're kind of
And
getting.
he's drifting a little bit. He
Yeah,
literally drifted like
but
4 or 5
That's
more times.
actually it's not as bad as we're kind of making it sound. We're nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking, but
Wouldn't you say the
if
big
you
thing would be
yeah,
that
if
swing
you
and
turn
straightening?
your shoulders back in the direction of what you're actually aiming at, or
and
where
get
your
that
target
foot,
is.
get that foot from stop pointing that way
Yeah,
too. So
but once you start walking, then everything kind of goes back into.
yeah, because that. he's
And so
good.
yeah, that'd be the one thing is instead of trying, and that's a natural thing for people to do is to try to do that to help the ball hook because staying inside of it and pushing it that way to get it to go that way doesn't make a whole lot of sense up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, he fixes it
Inside, outside.
Yeah, he fixes it on the approach. So he starts in not a great position, but then
Yep.
he kind of fixes it during the approach. And the tempo is slow enough, the timing is good enough that I would say don't go out of your way to start changing a whole bunch of stuff. The next thing you need to work on is number one, don't start a little bit more. You need to start open.
Yeah. Angle. I'd rather see those feet just kind of square instead of
Yeah.
pointing that way. Kind of tight.
Yeah, when
way.
you start up, you want to angle your body in the direction
Straight.
of whatever you're targeting.
Your feet are going that way. You need to make it more like that,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
But the next thing to work on is, and that's simple, is just aiming your body in the
Yeah.
correct direction.
Mm-hmm.
But the next thing to work on is you see how far away from your foot the ball is.
And-
Again, let me.
And we also got to get that elbow in closer to his hip
Yeah.
for a release point.
Where's the?
Because like Mr. Bill said, it's I can see it too because that's what's causing him to come around the outside of it. If he got it in because he's inside of it, if he gets it in closer to his hip, it's going to be inside of it. Wouldn't you agree, Angel? Just seeing that?
Let's do this.
Angel just ate some popcorn.
0.5.
I'm kidding. You look like
Kind of
All right.
better.
you look like
So I went to a
Lou
slower playback speed. Let's look at it here.
Right.
You're turning open, the shoulders drop, the arm swing is straight, and then all of a sudden the ball is way out there. So you want to try to stay inside the ball a little bit better.
Yeah, get the hand inside the ball. That'll
Well,
definitely
and
make a
like
difference.
Mr. Bill said though, with the elbow in, that basically takes care of what you guys are saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he gets that elbow in, he'll stay inside of it. Did you see him because he
Yeah,
got it
yeah.
out and he twirled it? Watch his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Twirled it.
So just because you're standing there, elbow, just do a quick, hey,
What?
just do a quick elbow out, elbow in for that. Just,
Yeah. So instead of getting
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
around the ball, you want to stay inside the ball and get through the ball.
There you
So.
Know this?
All right. Well,
This.
go. Yeah.
it's
Okay.
after 11. We got to get out of here because we have a beer and chili competition to get to. Not
got-
saying
I'll
saying
take it.
this isn't fun, but we got things to do.
Send us some comments in there. We can go back and look. If you guys enjoyed this too, we still want to get back to our show.
So,
but
yeah,
we
and-
want to change something up today and try it a little different. Just kind of ramble/chat.
Yeah, and there again, the breakdownpair@gmail.com. If you want.
Description.
If you want any,
Yep, in the description.
Yes, in the description. If you want any coaching, if you have any videos to submit, if you have any ideas, if you have any opinions, if you have anything, to send us stuff.
Yeah, please.
We talk about everything that we've got, and everything that comes in. We'll talk about it
Yes, Scott. We're bowling GTO in Tulsa next weekend, so we will not have a show.
because
so.
it's a whole lot easier for people to give us ideas than to come up with ideas ourselves.
After next weekend, we should be able to start having
Yeah, they
actual
should be
shows.
more regular
Yeah.
because we don't have. We're bowling GTO in Tulsa next weekend, and then after that, we don't have anything for a while.
And I will start us up on Instagram. So
Yeah.
once we have one, follow it because we'll
Yeah.
have some fun with that. I think we'll have some fun because we can
Well,
put
yeah, I was just say traveling, you can have pictures.
traveling and what we do and pictures of people. Luke and I can look silly.
Yeah.
We'll have some fun.
Yeah, bowling ball review. Trying to stay on my power step more. Yeah, and that's
We could even post bowling ball shots. In there, too.
that's
That'd be
better.
cool.
That makes your timing look a whole lot better. And that was a good video that you put together, by the way.
Yeah, that was a really good,
helps
actually.
really illustrate what's going on because you slowed your
Yep.
feet down a little bit, and your tempo, your timing, everything's a whole lot better.
Yep.
So
Well, thank you for everybody. We're gonna go have some fun, eat some chili, drink some beer, watch some foosball. Angel's probably
Yeah.
not thrilled, but watch some foosball. But we're gonna.
you playing the foosball?
Yeah, that's the devil.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch some Broncos football. So let's have some fun. Thank you for watching, guys.
Broncos.
Thanks. Oh, stop it.
All right. Yeah, we'll see you.